mess. Troy says he's MAGA. Let's give him an invite. Let's see what he has to say. Genuinely, I want to hear what they have to say. Troy, hello. How old are you, bro?
I'm 19. I was
Yeah,
born
where were you
April
born?
27th, 2005.
Well, goddamn, you came prepared, huh?
Oh, yeah, Harry.
Fair enough. I respect it. All right, man. Talk to me. Troy, you voted for Donald Trump, huh?
Boy, did I. He's going to save us, Harry. You just don't
Yeah.
understand.
He's gonna save us. I just don't understand. Yeah. Do you wanna tell me how he's gonna save us?
Yes, Harry, of course I do. Because what you don't understand about these tariffs, they're going to save us from the illegal immigrants. Bringing
Yeah.
in ethanol. Of
They're gonna
course,
save us?
Harry. Yes, Harry, how don't you understand this? Who needed 3 million new homes?
I
Come
know.
on,
You're right.
$6,000 child tax credit? Who needed that?
You're
we
right.
need
You're
these
right.
tariffs, Harry. You do not understand.
And what about it's funny because Kamala Harris wanted to give everybody 100 million Americans a tax cut. Primarily focusing on middle class Americans. Who needs that? Who needs that?
Yeah, who needs that,
matter.
Harry? Come on, like you're kind of getting it now, aren't you? Aren't you?
Yeah,
getting
you're
it
right.
now?
You're right. That's right. Now I'm
gonna save us.
understanding the MAGA.
You don't
version.
want to be like Mike Pence. You don't want to be a traitor, do you?
Yeah, dude. Exactly. No, for sure. You know what? I'm on the train now. I see your vision.
You want to hit the dance, Harry? Come on.
Come on. Yeah. Hit the dance. Oh my God, bro. Listen, I appreciate you. I know you're not MAGA, which is better than being MAGA. So I appreciate you. And when you put it that way, doesn't it kind of sound crazy? Oh my God, no, I can't. No. I'm sorry, bro. You gotta go, bro. You gotta go, bro. You gotta go. Let's put in Patriot Dad. If this guy actually, his username's actually. Hello, bro.
Looking at you, JoJo from Cheers. You're done.
Playing a Trump AI song, bro. I feel like you gotta get a life, bro. I feel like you gotta get a life, bro. If you're he's playing the Trump, there's like a Trump song. It's like so strange, bro. You gotta get a life. I feel like you gotta find a hobby. Your hobby can't just be like loving Donald Trump. Let's put in this guy, Americans for Trump. My God.
Hey, man, I got a question to ask you. Do you pee sitting down or do you pee standing up?
Why are you thinking about people urinating?
Well, that's what you do, man. That's all you do.
I know you're the one bringing the question. Why are you
because
thinking
I'm
about this?
asking you,
Don't you
that's
think
what
that's really strange?
That's what you do.
Don't you think that's really strange?
Tell me.
Why would you what
would you do that?
think
Tell me.
what do you think about in your spare time?
Why would you do that? Tell me.
Why were you thinking about that in your
Why would
spare
you do
time?
that?
I feel
Tell
like
me, why would
you
you do
also
that?
need to get a hobby,
No.
bro. You need to get a goddamn hobby, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God, bro. These people are so goddamn strange, man. Relax, take a breather, guys. Go play a sport, dude. Go, I don't know, go throw a football. Go throw a football. My God, Kenneth, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. Listen, if you're, oh my God, go get it. Go like, I don't know, for a run. You'll be fine. You'll be all right. You'll get the hang of it. All right, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up. And you can tell me why you're MAGA. You can tell me why you voted for Donald Trump. You can tell me why you voted for Donald Trump. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody said average MAGA supporter. No, I'm saying, man. I'm saying. Let's see here. Will says he's MAGA. Let's bring up Will. Let's bring up. We'll leave it at Will for now. What's up, Will?
Hey, Harry, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, I apologize. I have strep throat right now, so
Oh God, that's brutal. I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
yeah. Well, listen, I'm not going to be like those other guys. I'm hoping to kind of have a respectful conversation about why we maybe disagree on some things. So, I'm 22. I go to Texas Tech University in West Texas. I'm from West Texas. You know, down here, we probably think, I understand you go to NYU, New York, right?
That's right.
So, yeah, obviously, I think some different viewpoints there. Big thing down here is agriculture and oil and gas. President Trump has, I believe he's done a good job pushing legislation, or I can't really name any specific pieces, but he really stands up for us, and his message resonates with us. Whereas I believe Vice President Harris, her kind of message just didn't resonate with us. And so I think that's kind of why y'all don't get the rural voters like the Democrats did like 20 years ago. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, Trump hasn't done anything for people in agriculture or like anybody in your specific kind of rural region of Texas. This is somebody that, for example, I mean, tariffs are a big conversation tonight because of what Trump announced today. For example, when he was in president the first time, he put a bunch of tariffs on China, and they put retaliatory tariffs on, meaning they put tariffs on the United States, which hindered our ability, or I should say, farmers' ability to send their goods abroad and be able to sell their product to Pacific Rim countries, which was a big trading partner for American farmers. And that led to billions of dollars being lost in the farming industry, so much so that Donald Trump actually had to bail out a lot of farmers. They passed I want to say like a $28 billion bill just to save farmers from the Trump administration's tariff policies. That could have just been avoided if we didn't do that. And so, I don't know. I don't think that Trump is really helping anybody when it comes to like agriculture or anything like that. I don't think he's helping anybody, period. But
So, Harry, I mean, I know I mentioned agriculture. I'm more on the oil and gas side of things.
gotcha.
And President Biden, I believe in 2023, placed a freeze on LNG, liquefied natural gas exports, which really hurts the United States producer. I'm not sure how well versed you are. You're a smart guy. I disagree with you on a lot of things, but I can tell you're a smart guy. So keep up with different things.
I appreciate that.
Of course. But President Biden, he blocked LNG exports, which was quite a mistake because, obviously the stuff going on in Russia, a lot of European countries need LNG exports, and the Permian Basin in West Texas is the probably the largest oil field in the world. Maybe the Middle East is bigger, but creating that LNG freeze really affects the people of West Texas and the Midland, Odessa, rural West Texas area, just because that's when the price of natural gas came down, affecting us. And then if you would later like to discuss maybe why consumers' gasoline prices go up under a Democratic administration, I'd love to talk with you about that as well.
Sure, I'm happy to talk about that. The tough role or the tough position that we're in the United States right now is balancing concern with the environment while also continuing to produce fossil fuels and drill and things like that. So under Biden, I cite this statistic quite frequently, which is, we drill more oil and produce more oil right now than ever before in American history, more than any country in the world right now. But simultaneously, we also have to be conscious about the environment. So halting the LNG exports was kind of playing into that conscious about the environment stuff, because we can't the reality is we can't just continue on the way that we're going. And I hope we could agree on that. It's also not economically smart to continue on the path that we're going. Aside from, even if you're like, well, I want the economy to thrive, even if that's your view, China right now is beating us in the environmental technology, renewable energy, electric cars right now. They're beating us by a lot. They're actually making huge investments into this, while we in the United States are still sitting here saying, well, should we do it? Should we not do it? We still have the Republican Party saying, well, we don't really believe in any of this stuff. But in reality, that is the future. So we have to be thinking future. We can't just be thinking present right now.
Do you mind if I jump in here real quick?
Go for it, please.
So, Harry, 90% of your daily life is oil and gas. Those headphones you're wearing, that was made from petroleum
100%.
products. The paint in my room, petroleum products. And while I agree that, for our future generations, we maybe do need to search towards cleaner alternatives, I genuinely believe for energy, natural gas is the future. It burns cleaner than anything else. When you use wind turbines, like out here in West Texas, we have a lot of wind turbines, and to winterize it, petroleum, to paint it, petroleum, to haul those wind turbine blades, that's using petroleum. So with oil and gas, I understand that it's a quote unquote non-renewable resource, but Harry, without oil and gas, we would not be thriving the way we are. All of our medical equipment, that's oil and gas. So Harry, I just hope you understand, maybe the drill baby, I assume you disagree with drill baby drill, which I'm hoping to kind of discuss that policy too later, but we need oil and gas, and without it, our nation becomes a third world country.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we can make the switch right now, but we have to make the switch. Do you disagree? Do you think that we can just based on the science, because we have every environmental scientist out there, or at least the overwhelming majority of environmental scientists and just scientists generally, are saying that this is an impending disaster, that climate change is coming whether we like it or not. We can pretend that natural gas is safe and that it doesn't produce as many harmful toxins as other energy sources like coal or something like that. We can pretend that. We can tell ourselves that to make us feel good inside, and we can use the justification that a lot of big oil companies push that, oh, well, everything around us is from fossil fuels and things like that. But that can't remain the reality, and it doesn't have to remain the reality. We can make these investments and move toward a renewable future while balancing it, while doing it at a pace that's doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't destroy any industry, but allows people to move over, allows the United States to establish ourselves. So based on the science that we have right now, are you comfortable staying on this path, or are you at least more in favor of moving toward a renewable future?
Honestly, not really, Harry. And here's why. About 2% of our energy today comes from alternative or green energy. And if we were to make that switch, we can't make the switch to mainly alternative green energy in the next 10 years because we just don't have the infrastructure for it. Wind turbines, unfortunately, don't work. I know, I see them every day. Every time I go on the highway, I see a wind turbine. They're not a long-term option. Solar panels, yeah, that may work in like Arizona or Florida, but here in West Texas, you have hailstorms. In Seattle, it rains all the time. It's not feasible. If the goal is really please, I see your face. Please let me finish my point.
I'm gonna let you finish, but you don't rain like anyway. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, solar panels use sunlight, but Harry, we don't have the infrastructure to switch to alternative green energy in the next 10 years. Hell, I don't think we have it for the next 100 years.
Yeah, that's utter nonsense. So I was curious about this because you said only 2%. Actually, 21% of total electricity generated in the United States comes from renewable energy sources.
What's your source on that, Harry?
The EIA.gov, Energy Information Administration.
Well,
it's a federal government agency. And also, you mentioned that like solar panels with rainy days, like solar panels work on cloudy days, right?
So with solar panels, yeah, I guess they do work a little bit, but it uses the sun. And like I said, in West Texas, I think that solar panels work on a microeconomic standpoint, meaning if you personally wanted to put a couple solar panels on your house, it works. But we do not have the infrastructure to build solar farms for an entire city for like, New York or Dallas. We don't have that infrastructure yet, unfortunately. Do I think maybe we need to start making some different adjustments as we go forward? Perhaps. But Harry, the reality is we would be a third world country without oil and gas.
But that's just like, respectfully, that's just like big oil propaganda. Like we have to be honest here. You see these big oil companies like Exxon, for example, advertising that, oh, everything around us is made through fossil fuels. Obviously, everything around us is made through fossil fuels right now because that's the only energy source that we mainly utilize and have utilized throughout history. It's not the only energy source that can be used to make these things. Right? We can use renewable trucks and renewable cars to transport things. We can use renewable energy to create things. We have nuclear, which is a very safe option that has just a lot of stigma around it because of things like Chernobyl and other nuclear disasters.
I am in favor of nuclear. So
okay, great. That's for favor of a form of like renewable energy. So let's do that. But let's make these investments. And the idea that like we can't transfer to a renewable future within the next like 15, 20, 25 years, it's going to take 100 years, is just not in line with anything, any study, any analysis of these things. China is doing it right now. They are beating us when it comes to renewable energy investment. And as I mentioned, whether you like it or not, that is the reality of the future. So we can either sit here and get beat by China on this and just let them take the lead and have their technology sold all over the world so that they can make a profit, or we, the United States, can take the initiative and invest in these things heavily and understand that renewable energy, number one, is not the future, and number two, really bad for the environment, and have our technology sold around the world. It's a very easy answer here, right? It's very easy.
So, yeah, I guess I do agree with you on, I think we should go use the more nuclear approach. I think you and I can agree that it's time to phase out coal. It's time to phase that out. I feel like that's an area where you and I can agree on. But, man, I encourage you to look into natural gas. Natural gas, it burns cleaner. It only burns one element, carbon. It's mainly a methane gas, which is much cleaner than coal or crude oil, and there's an abundance of it in West Texas. And here's another thing, Harry. I don't know if you've ever been out to the Permian Basin or any other. I figured not. No offense, but
Never been to Texas. No,
fair enough. I mean, you should visit.
I wouldn't be opposed.
These oil and gas companies, they do what's called flaring. They flare their natural gas off, which is much more harmful to the environment rather than sticking it in a pipeline, going down to the Waha hub, and then exporting it both to our cities here in the United States, Chicago, New York, Dallas, Houston, and then exporting it to other countries, when this is a cleaner, I should say, alternative to energy as opposed to something like coal.
So I don't know anything about natural gas. I've just never studied it. And so I just looked it up, again, citing the Energy Information Administration, and some other sources that are kind of combined in here. But it says, while natural gas is considered a relatively cleaner fossil fuel compared to coal or oil when burned, it is not considered good for the environment due to significant methane leaks during extraction and transportation, making its overall climate impact more substantial than its carbon dioxide emissions alone suggest. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas that significantly contributes to climate change. So, I mean, that doesn't sound great to me. I think the justification being that it's cleaner doesn't solve the problem. It can be cleaner, but is it actually good for the environment? Is it sustainable? Is it a long-term solution for people just generally? No, obviously I don't think so.
Harry, here's what I'll tell you is that the demand for crude oil is going to be around for the next, you said it's not going to be 100. We'll meet in the middle at 50. There's no debating that it's going to be around for 50. And these companies, they're flaring off the natural gas. You can disagree with me if you want to, but I'm saying it's better for the environment to put it in a pipeline, for it to be used both here in the United States and overseas.
But it's not good for the environment at all. If we're using natural gas as opposed to renewable energy, it's still just not good for the environment. And it's so easy to think short term. It's so easy to pretend that climate change is not happening, it doesn't exist, and it's not an issue that we should focus on. But at the end of the day, it is. It's real. It's happening. We have climate scientists screaming right now that the world is heating at an unprecedented level. And if we don't take action now, we're going to pass a point of no return. And the heating is going to be too extensive. And we're going to have a variety of issues from intense storms, mass migration due to heat because of the Middle East, for example. People won't be able to inhabit the Middle East, and what are we going to do with all those folks? Where they're going to go? And the United States will play a role in that. A variety of things, rising sea levels as well. So states like Florida, for example, will face the brunt of that. That's real. That's happening. So you have to you have to balance I know you work in fossil fuel, so you have to balance your personal bias of I work in fossil fuel, I know that natural gas is cleaner, with actual reality and science. And when you got to kind of mix those two things, it's there's an answer that's clear here.
I mean, that's fair, but Harry, we're not thriving the way we are without oil and natural gas. Now, I'm not a quote unquote, I guess, climate denier. I'm not sure. I understand climate change is happening, but you realize at one point in time in the Ice Age, the whole globe was covered in ice and snow, and there was no hydrocarbons being extracted at that time, and the ice caps melted. Now, a science teacher told me, now you may disagree, but the globe naturally heats and cools just throughout periods of time. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, I understand that the globe is continuingly getting hotter year and year, but I feel like we would not be able to thrive. We would not have made as many medical breakthroughs as we have without oil and gas. Hell, I know you're a big proponent of the COVID vaccine, correct?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, I could be mistaken, but hydrocarbons helped produce the COVID vaccine. They've helped produce several vaccines in the medical industry. So just maybe that's something you and maybe your followers should think about is we cannot thrive without hydrocarbons, Harry.
So I just find it interesting how you cited a science teacher to back up your argument when you pick and choose what science to believe. So when the science is saying that climate change is happening, we need to take action, you're kind of I don't know.
Harry, I'm not
embrace natural gas. But then when your science teacher is telling you, the Earth goes through natural phases of cooling and heating, then you're all in. And so your science teacher is right. The Earth has historically gone through phases of cooling and heating, and that's perfectly natural. It's perfectly fine with the Earth. But right now, the Earth is heating at a rate that we've never seen before, have no data to back up. It's the rate at which it's happening is what's concerning. We understand that the world goes through phases. We understand that. But at the rate is what it's happening is concerning. And we need to slow that rate down. That's all.
I agree. And I think you and I can agree that it's time to phase out coal. It's kind of time. I mean, I don't think that we could do it tomorrow, but, slowly but surely phase out coal. And I think, I guess, kind of agree to disagree on natural gas. But Harry, I was wondering if maybe now you wanted to discuss gas prices and why, like gasoline prices, and why I believe they actually will go down under a Trump administration as compared to a Biden-Harris administration.
Sure.
So Trump obviously has policies of quote unquote drill baby drill. Now that actually, for me, being in an exploration and production company in Midland, that will hurt me, the E&P companies, but it helps the consumers because I think you agree, higher supply, constant demand, lower gas prices, right? So if we quote unquote drill baby drill on these federal lands, these Bureau of Land Management lands that are owned by the federal government, in that case, you'll have more rigs, you'll have more production, and then the price of crude will go down, meaning it's cheaper to refine because it's cheaper for these refineries to buy the crude oil and then sell out to your local gas stations like your Circle K's or whatever.
So what's the point here? That Trump will just be better for gas prices?
He'll be better for gas prices because he'll place less regulations on federally owned mineral rights within, states like New Mexico. New Mexico is the second largest oil and gas state, I believe, in reserves, behind only Texas. But New Mexico, Colorado, Montana, and then North and South Dakota, these lands are owned by the Bureau of Land Management, the BLM. And with the Trump administration, he will place people in there that will have less regulation, meaning it'll be easier to permit and drill wells, meaning more rigs, more wells, and therefore cheaper WTI, which is the standard benchmark for crude oil in America. And therefore the refineries and pipelines will buy it for cheaper. They'll be able to they'll be able to refine it into gasoline and then sell it to your Circle K and your local gas station for cheaper, thereby bringing down the lower gas prices.
So in Biden's first 2 years of office, he approved more drilling permits than Donald Trump did. And we have more of these permits under Biden, at least, comparatively to Trump every year under his presidency going forward and being constructed and worked on, right? And as a result of that, we are producing, as I mentioned, more oil than ever before in American history. So the idea that somehow Trump is just going to deregulate and we're going to just start drilling again and it's going to all go down is just nonsense, because gas prices at your local gas station, your Circle K, whatever, is not based on domestic production solely. It's based on global markets. I think you know that as well, that gas prices are not domestic, they're global. That's why when COVID was happening, the United States was not the only country whose gas prices went up rapidly. We had countries in Europe, Canada, our neighbors up north, Asian countries, all of their gas prices went up, not because they were just regulating the fossil fuel industry so much and nobody could drill and build wells and no permits were being accepted, just because global supply was low. And that was at first partially because of Donald Trump, but that just continued. He had an agreement with OPEC to cut production of oil by 10 million barrels a day during COVID. Yeah. So this whole anyway, I'm trying to make the point as short as possible. The idea that Trump is just we're going to drill baby drill, everything's going to come down because we're going to deregulate and more wells are going to be opened on federal land. That is not how any of this works, and it's just a lie to get people to vote for him. That's all.
That's a fair point. You mentioned OPEC. They do control a large share of the market. However, you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but this is just my opinion. I believe that President Trump will be stronger on OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, than President Biden was. Harry, you're laughing at me, but man.
Look at the facts, man. What happened with Trump, man? What happened with Trump? When every president before Biden has gone to OPEC and practically begged them to produce more oil, Trump did the same thing. Remember that picture of him with the crown prince, putting his hands on the globe? You know, I'm not sure if you remember that, but it's a famous picture out there. Infamous, you might describe it as. We went to OPEC and begged them to produce more oil. And then during COVID, he cut production. You know what Biden did? He said, hey, OPEC, I want you to produce more oil. Can we get back to the levels that we were at before COVID? So prices of gas go down. They said no. He said, okay, screw you. We'll just go use a reserve. And so for the first time in at least modern American history, OPEC was beaten by an American president, because what Biden did was went to our reserve, released a bunch of barrels of oil when they were really expensive, sold it for a high profit. And then he bought those barrels of oil back at a lower price, buy high or sell high, buy low, and made us $500 million in the process while doing that. And we filled our reserves, and gas prices came down a little bit because more barrels of oil were released into the global market. So the idea that like Trump is going to be harder on OPEC than Biden, who literally beat OPEC, is strange to me.
That's fair. But, as you know, there's also wars going on. I'm not sure. I know President Trump says he has plans to end those wars, but that's also another factor. Let me finish my point. That's also another factor of our gas prices and crude oil, WTI crude oil prices fluctuating, right?
Totally.
Whenever there's war, there's going to be higher prices. And say what you will, I don't know if this is necessarily Biden's fault, but under a Biden administration, both Russia and Ukraine got in a war, and both obviously the Palestine-Israeli conflicts are going on. And the Palestine-Israeli conflict, that's right there in the middle of most of those OPEC countries, right? Yep. So if we can end those wars, we can bring down the gas prices due to there being a smaller global demand on just crude oil in general.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about how the war between Israel and Gaza has fluctuated gas prices. I haven't seen any data to suggest that there's been a major fluctuation because of the conflict. But with Russia and Ukraine, absolutely. Russia was the third largest exporter of oil in the world. The United States, we imported 8% of our oil from Russia, and then we subsequently cut them off, leading to higher prices because there was less supply just globally. But I think that even if the war ends tomorrow between Russia and Ukraine, we shouldn't go back to using Russian oil. None of these European countries like Germany should go back to using Russian oil. They should be entirely cut off from the West. We should not rely on their oil anymore. So I don't even know if ending the war would do anything in terms of gas prices there,
So, Harry, what I'll say on that, for me personally, working for an exploration and production company, it would be good for me if no one ever used Russian oil ever again, because obviously, as you know, that would cut off supply. And WTI, which is the standard benchmark for American crude oil, WTI stands for West Texas Intermediate, side note there. But I'm looking at the data right now over the past 10 years. And obviously it dipped during COVID just because no one was driving. I don't think there was any really war going on. It went negative at one point. And then we see a spike here sorry, I'm pulling it up. My source is Oil Price Live. It's an app. So it went up to 120 in November of 22, and it closed today at, I believe, 71.18.
Is this a barrel, or what are you referencing here?
Yeah, per barrel.
Gotcha.
Per barrel of WTI. Now, you can look at Brent, you can look at OPEC, you can look at different things. It's a cool app just to kind of keep you updated on oil prices. And oil prices directly affect your gasoline prices just because, obviously you use crude oil, refine it, make gasoline. But yeah, I think ending the wars and then phasing in Russian oil will bring down the gas price for the American consumer, which is good for the average American consumer. For me, on the other hand, I like high gas prices just because that means I get a higher bonus, higher paychecks, things of that nature.
I just disagree that we should bring back Russian oil. I am so vehemently anti-Putin right now, to the point where even if the idea that we could bring back 8% of oil that we imported from Russia and that would suddenly bring down gas prices, I think we should find another avenue personally. And I think, as you mentioned, that helps you, but I don't know if that. I don't even know if that responds to your entire argument, but that's just what I mainly wanted to say. It's like I really disagree with the idea that we should go back to Russian oil.
I mean, are you disagreeing because you don't think it'll help the American consumer, or just because you're pissed off with Putin?
No, I'm sure that the introduction of Russian oil back into Western markets would certainly bring down the price for countries in Europe and for the United States. Yeah. But when I'm weighing the options of like, well, do we do this just because it's financially beneficial, or do we do it to make sure that Russia doesn't get stronger and that they don't have access to as much money as they did before and thus can't invest in their military, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I'm more on the side of, even if the Russian oil would help prices come down even just a little bit, I'd rather prices stay high in my personal view, or higher, than rely on Russian oil again. Because one of the big problems at the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war was the fact that Germany was very reliant on Russian oil. The United States had been warning them about this constantly. We were screaming, do not do this. Don't rely on Russian oil. Don't rely on Russian oil. They did it anyway, and that became a big problem. So I prefer that we stay away from that. I prefer we avoid that problem again, and either have Germany and other European countries and the United States included invest in renewable energy, or just avoid Russian oil altogether. That's just my view. But anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm reading your comments here. Your followers don't seem too pleased that while they suffer at the pump, that I get a fat bonus. And I'll tell you this: you seem to be against quote unquote big oil. So companies like Exxon, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, just know those companies will boom if we do not increase our reliance on Russian oil. Now, like I said, I kind of agree with you. Don't use Russian oil just because these WTI crude prices will continue to climb, thereby increasing your prices at the pump, which, I mean, maybe that is good for you because I know you're not a big Trump guy, and that'll make Trump look bad because obviously the gasoline prices won't come down. But, I mean, that's just kind of my 2 cents on that topic there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just disagree. But listen, we can leave the conversation there. And as I mentioned, I don't want to beat a dead horse. But hey, I appreciate you coming up. You're welcome back anytime to have a conversation further if you'd like.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have anything else you want to say, you can say it. And if not, we'll just leave it there.
Well, thank you, Harry. I feel like although we seem to disagree on quite a few things, I thought this was a respectful back and forth of different viewpoints. And I think this is what we need as a country, just to respectfully disagree with each other and have conversations. I think it's good for our nation and good to. And I encourage the next MAGA Trump supporters you bring up to do the same. Be respectful, and not to. I don't know. I know some guy was saying that like you peed sitting down or something. That
very strange thing to say about somebody, isn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't very nice. But no, I appreciate this conversation we've had, and maybe I'll be back in a later live. But thanks for having me on. All
right, man. Well, hey, Will, have a good night. I appreciate you, and yeah, we'll talk soon. All right.
Yeah, you as well, Harry. Thank you.
Yo, Jake, thanks for the $1. You should start a Patreon with all your recorded lives. Not all of us can stay up so late. Yeah, I've thought about doing something like that, but I'd probably make like a YouTube channel and upload them because I don't want to like make people pay to watch the lives. You know what I'm saying? And I know like with Patreon, you'd have to do that. So I've thought about it for sure. People have asked me to do that. I just haven't gotten to it, to be honest. Killer, thanks for the $1. Beautiful flannel, looking handsome as always. Love it. Oh, Killer's always so nice. I appreciate you, Killer. Thank you. Callie, thanks for the 14 cents. Please join Parker's Discord and look at the live feed. We always chat in there while watching you. I can do that, actually. I think I could do that. Drew, thanks for the $10. Harry, I have a serious situation I need help with. Can I DM you? You can, I mean, if you want to just comment on the Venmo, you can do that for sure. 100%. And Abby, thanks for the $1. Don't read out loud. I apologize. Yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault. Yo, Jake, thanks for the $1. Agree to disagree as long as it doesn't interfere with my right to exist as a human. Well, that's the important thing at the end of the day, right? That's what it has to be. You can agree to disagree, but it can't be an agreement or an agreeing to disagree on human rights or things like that. I totally agree with you. Shakayla, thanks for the $2.22. I appreciate you a whole lot, always and forever. Don't read this out loud. Well, Shakayla, I'm glad. I'm glad that. How do I say this without like revealing much? I'm just glad. I'll leave it there. I appreciate you, Shakayla, and I hope you're doing well. Shauna, thanks for the $1. Hi, Harry. Today is my birthday. Shauna, happy goddamn birthday! Everybody wish Sean a happy birthday in the chat. I appreciate you. I hope your day went exactly as you planned it. Daisy, thanks for the $1. Me rushing home from the ER to hope I don't miss you. I hope you just worked there. I hope you're not, I hope you don't, weren't there like as a patient. You know what I'm saying? Ashley, thanks for the $5. Date my daughter. I'm blank on TikTok. I don't know if you want me to read out your username. And then you sent another $5 saying, thank you for schooling these clowns. We try. Shout out to everybody saying happy birthday to her. You guys are amazing. Anyway, Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support the live. Hold on. I feel like the setup's a little weird. You know what I mean? We have a new setup for the time being. Just for a couple days. You know how it be. So anyway, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up. You can tell me why you're MAGA, and we can talk. Anais is saying that she's MAGA. We'll give her an invite. Venmo, Cash App, link in the bio if you want to support the live. Javier's saying he's MAGA. Okay, we'll bring 2 people up. Anais, that's how you pronounce your name? I saw your bio, so I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Anais, yeah. Okay. Anais, and you're MAGA. You voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's just better.
How old are you?
18.
Oh, I'm sure you are. Listen, you have a good rest of your night, all right? You have a good rest of your night. What's up, man?
Yo, Harry, what's good, bro?
You vote for Trump?
Sir, bro. I
Why,
do.
bro?
Why? 'Cause we have the best economy in one of the past probably 20 years since Trump became president.
What did Trump do to make the economy better?
What did he do?
Yeah.
Well, the gas prices were low. We were drilling.
No, I know, but like, what did Trump do to make the economy better?
Well, we were oil independent, which we weren't under the past president.
We're more energy independent right now than we were under Donald Trump.
But we don't import oil, though. I mean, export. Sorry, export.
Yes, we do. We export oil.
So then why is the gas more expensive now?
Because as I was just
Is it
explaining to the
because
guy
of
before
Russia?
you.
Is that the only reason?
No, Russia plays into it for sure, but it's mostly because global supply has been down in recent years, and just like with a combination of inflation, that's going to lead to higher prices, just generally. So,
Okay. What else?
but and also just to be clear, like, so wait, what state did you vote for Donald Trump in?
I'm in Florida.
Florida. Okay. Yeah.
But
So just to be clear,
I'm at Florida State though. So
Gotcha.
I mean, Tallahassee was liberal. I mean, they voted for Kamala.
Trump didn't do anything to make the economy better. This is like the big lie, not the big lie in terms of the 2020 election, but the big lie here that Donald Trump has pushed, that somehow he was good for the economy, that he made it better, that he lowered gas prices. That's just not true. Donald Trump didn't do anything to help the economy. He inherited a great economy from Obama, then took credit. And a lot of the American people have a recency bias where they see Trump and that he was president in that time, and they just think that because he was president, he had the economy strong and was building and whatnot. But in reality, that's just not the case. So I just want to make that clear, that you shouldn't believe this lie that somehow he was able to lower gas prices and Biden artificially raised them. The only reason that prices went up under Joe Biden is because he inherited a terrible economy that was hit by COVID, and inflation was a natural conclusion of that.
Okay, but there was also under Biden, right? There's been 8.4 million illegal immigrants getting into this country.
That's
And under
encounters.
Trump, it was
That's encounters.
encounters.
So that doesn't mean that 8.4 million people came into the country. That means that 8.4 million people have been encountered over like the past 4 years. And what that means is that literally what it sounds like they were just encountered at the border. They were run into at the border or met at the border. And the majority of people who are encountered are rejected. And for the majority of people who came into the country that actually got in, those folks are asylum seekers, meaning that they are using a legal process to come into the United States, making them legal immigrants. Now they have a court date for their asylum claim. They have to go before a judge and prove that they have a credible fear for their life, but they're still legal in the time being.
No, I understand that. I mean, I'm a migrant. My parents came from Argentina, but we did it legally. You know, we got our green card. We lived here for a certain amount of years. You know, we did.
Would you
like,
say that it was easy for your parents to get here?
I mean, it wasn't easy, but like they made it work. Like they
So that's
did the
the thing.
process. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, and now my parents, like, you know, they work. They got like good jobs. You know, they did the American dream. You know, like what
So
all that
that's
stuff.
the point. That's the
Yeah.
point that we're trying to make to people, which is, so your family, you're coming from a family of immigrants. They came from Argentina. Them getting into the country was probably incredibly difficult just to get a green card. What Democrats are saying, what Kamala Harris was saying, which unfortunately the election's over now, what Kamala Harris was saying and Democrats continue to say is that it should be easier to come in legally and harder to come in illegally. So it should be really easy for people to get a green card if they want it. It should be easy for people to get a work permit if they want it. Of course, they still have to go through the proper vetting to make sure they are who they say they are. They don't have a criminal record. They're not wanted by any country, things like that, of course, right?
Yeah.
But it should be way easier. The system should be more efficient. And for folks like your parents who are hardworking people who just wanted a better life, it should be rapid. The problem is that the Democrats want that. Donald Trump doesn't. So when Trump gets into office, at least when he was president the first time, he reduced the amount of green cards and working permits we give out to people wanting to come to the country legally, which then incentivizes people to come in illegally because they don't really have a path to get in. But besides that, Trump is going to make families like yours, their lives harder. Whereas Kamala Harris would have made families like yours, your lives easier if you were trying to come in the United States still.
No,
That's just the problem.
I get that. I get that. So what good things? Oh, actually, no, I have another thing. So I think Trump also, even though like they say he didn't do a lot for the energy and stuff like that. I mean, like, you know, when they talk about like global warming and stuff like that, he actually, I forgot what the act was or bill, but he did like something with solar panels so that made like our, from what I heard in like a debate or something, but it said that like our energy was like better than it was before, like for the past like 4 years, that it was like it got better. I forgot from where I read it, but I think I
Yeah,
heard
I don't know. I don't know what that means. I mean, like, and Trump also didn't really do anything for our
like
energy.
the emissions, Sorry. That's
Oh,
what-
carbon emissions?
yes,
Like you're saying the carbon emissions went down under Donald Trump.
yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that is actually the truth, that carbon emissions continued to go down under Donald Trump, but that is also not because of Donald Trump. What President Obama did before him was make a historic investment in renewable energy devices. So things like solar panels, wind turbines, things like that. Obama raised the amount that we have in the United States from like in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands for both of those things. And since then, carbon emissions have gone down. And now President Biden has made huge investments in renewable energy. So Trump inherited a system that was set up for him for success when it came to carbon emissions because we were using more solar panels, meaning we were less reliant on fossil fuel and wind turbines and the whole nine. So also Trump didn't do anything to lower carbon emissions. He continued the use of solar panels because he can't really say, no, you can't do that. But he also did his best to really hurt the environment. Like he allowed the EPA and himself to go wild in terms of cutting regulation for what big fossil fuel companies can do, where they could drill, what they could put out in the air, what they could put in our water. You know, anyway, don't want to.
Yeah. So do you think Biden has done a good job as a
Yes,
president?
he's the best president in modern American history. Easy,
Are you being serious with that?
100%.
So what has he
100%.
done to benefit our country? Because
Easy.
from what I've seen, the inflation has been the highest it's ever been in a long time. It's harder to buy a house now than it was under Trump. It's harder to get a job also. I'm pretty sure the employment rate has also gone up.
No. Actually, Biden had a lower unemployment rate. The lowest, at least in his presidency, was lower than it was under Donald Trump. It got to 3.4% under Biden. It was 3.5% at its lowest under Donald Trump. And the unemployment rate now is
I
kind
mean,
of
we also
fluctuating.
had COVID though, so that didn't help Trump.
No, but Biden also inherited COVID. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
I
a lot
know.
of people didn't have their jobs under Biden. He inherited like a high unemployment rate as well. It was like, I think it was between 6 and 8% at the time, which was, historically high for the United States. However, so in terms of Biden accomplishments, he's gotten a lot of actual policy passed, which is policy through Congress that he signed into law that was part of his agenda. So he started off with the American Rescue Plan, which was a huge investment into the economy following COVID. Nobody was in school, nobody was working. The United States was still kind of at a halt, but this investment allowed small businesses to stay open. It invested in farmers, it invested in veterans, it invested in giving schools the proper equipment they need to get kids back to in-person instruction. One of my favorite facts of the Biden administration, or two of them in context of this bill, was that Biden's goal was to get 100 million Americans vaccinated in his first 100 days. He doubled it. He got 200 million Americans vaccinated in his first 100 days. And on day one of his presidency, only around 5% of schools were fully in person. A year later, 95% of schools were fully in person. That's the effect of the American Rescue Plan. He also passed the infrastructure bill, an over $1 trillion investment in America's infrastructure, like roads and bridges, removing every single lead pipe in America so everybody has clean drinking water. And weatherizing our electrical grids, building renewable energy chargers and things like that all around the country. And it also has like $350 billion over 5 years for new roads and bridges, as well as repairing old roads and bridges that are already pre-existing. He also passed the first piece of major gun legislation in 30 years that had things like expanded background checks, red flag laws, things of that nature.
How do you feel about his son?
I find it funny how we're like talking about the accomplishments that Biden has gotten done, and really,
No, of
really
course. I heard a lot of good
and
things.
the
but, like, what do you
conversation
think
is his
about
son. I don't care about his son. Hunter is his own person. He's a private individual.
Yeah, but that reflects on your family, doesn't it? Because they like to
doesn't.
talk about Trump and like all the bad things that he's done, but they look the wrong way when it's about something about Biden's family.
I think there are plenty of families out there who are good families, good homes, and people just get wrapped up with the wrong people, and people make bad decisions. Joe Biden also had a son named Beau, who was the Attorney General of Delaware. He actually gave up that position to go serve in the Middle East, in the military.
Yeah,
He was a decorated military person, and he actually died as a result of his military service, came back, got brain cancer, and passed away. So I don't think that, Hunter and his mistakes are representative of Joe Biden. But I don't think that Hunter's a bad person. I think that a lot of people, he had some substance abuse issues. And I think a lot of people out there, many Americans, millions of Americans, get just wrapped up with the wrong people, or later in life, something happens to them, they fall down a hole and they just can't bring themselves back up. So I don't think that I don't care about Hunter. He's gone through rehab. He's made himself a better person. That's what I care about.
All right, so how do you feel about all the wars that are going on? Because when Trump was president, there was no wars.
It's not true.
Trump. Not true. So what war was there?
So we're actually in terms of American soldier involvement in wars, we are in less war right now than we were under Donald Trump. Also, less American soldiers have died under Joe Biden than under Donald Trump.
So who died under Trump?
There were around 65 soldiers who died under Donald Trump abroad, whereas under Joe Biden, it's around 16 right now.
What war
So
was it?
that's number one. But also the war that we were continued to be in under Donald Trump was Afghanistan. Trump also bombed the Middle East. He bombed Yemen. He bombed Syria. He bombed Iraq. He dropped the, quote, mother of all bombs in Afghanistan. Civilian deaths in Afghanistan from 2016 onward went up 330%. He increased drone strikes 450%. He is the sole reason that the Kurdish war restarted, and a lot of our allies in the forms of the Kurds got killed by opposition forces. We also got attacked by Iran under Donald Trump and a variety of other things. The idea that Donald Trump had no war and there was no global conflict going on under him is just not in line with fact.
Okay, so what do you think about? So do you think that if Trump was president, they would have attacked Ukraine
Yeah.
anyway? You
Yeah.
think they would have?
Yeah. The reason I never, this is also one of those points that I'm not
I
saying
feel
that
like
you
people
were
don't respect Biden in that way. Like they
That's
don't respect him
completely
as
false.
president.
This is completely false. That's completely false. I mean, if you want to make the argument, then do people not respect Donald Trump because Iran attacked us under Donald Trump?
I feel like people are more scared of him because they know that he would actually do something. Like
I don't think that people are more scared of Donald Trump. I think that they know that they can take advantage of Donald Trump. That's also the words of his former advisors, like John Bolton, Nikki Haley talked about how Donald Trump was like terrified when meeting Putin, or that he got weak in the knees, as Nikki Haley said. But with Joe Biden, he has this very coordinated, experienced team behind him who are experts in national security, who've worked in this field their entire lives, who've been coordinating with Putin. So in the lead up to the Russia-Ukraine war, the Biden administration was sending the CIA director, the Secretary of State, Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor, constantly to go meet with Russian officials to tell them, don't do this war. And they weren't openly saying like, haha, we don't care what you say. We're going to do this anyway. They were telling us that they're not going to do it. And we were saying to their faces like, hey, we have intel that you are going to do this. We know you're going to do this. And Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, during all of this was after the Russia invaded Ukraine, but he basically called them up and said, hey, we have intel that you're going to use a nuclear weapon in Ukraine. And they're like, no, we deny it. And he said something along the lines of, if you do this, the entirety of the United States military will be after you. Everything that we've talked about before, not bringing troops to Ukraine, not getting involved, that would be off the table. The Russian minister said, we don't like being threatened. And Lloyd Austin responded by saying, this is so cool. He said, respectfully, I'm the leader of the biggest military in the world. I don't make threats. So the idea that the Biden administration is weak on Russia and that everybody's just, so thinks that they're weak is nonsense. We were literally telling them we will use our military against them if they use a nuclear weapon. And what did they do? They didn't use a nuclear weapon.
So what do you think about how Trump made peace in the Middle East? Because
He didn't.
he didn't. So what was the treaty that Israel did then?
That was the Abraham Accords.
Yeah. So was that not peace?
No, because it was only between a couple of countries that weren't already at war. And also, the Abraham Accords are still in place right now. And there's obviously not peace in the Middle East. And even after the Abraham Accords, there was still conflict between the United States and Iran. There was still conflict between Gaza and Israel. There was still things going on in the Middle East. So it was decent. I'm not against the Abraham Accords. It just wasn't a monumental peace treaty that united all Middle Eastern countries and whatnot.
Well, it's kind of hard to unite everyone when like other people are rebellious. Like
I agree. I think that it's incredibly difficult to unite the Middle East. I don't think that Donald Trump's going to make it any better or going to be able to do it. I think Joe Biden, who is an expert in foreign policy, would be able to do it. Or if we gave him 4 more years, or Kamala Harris 4 more years to be able to do it.
Iran is like literally the sole reason why like everyone is like fueling that Gaza war. Like they're aiding the Hamas.
I wouldn't disagree with you. I think Iran is a big player in the region. They fund proxy groups like Hezbollah, like Hamas, like the Houthis, for sure. And I think we have to be tough on Iran. We can't just be, but we have to be strategic at the same time. That's what's so complex about foreign policy, is that a lot of this is just very strategic. And so, like, here's an example of foreign policy I think is very complicated and kind of like different on face value than what's actually happening. In Russia, Ukraine, for example, the United States had been asking Germany to send tanks to Ukraine to help against Russia. But they didn't want to because they thought it looked bad with the context of like World War II and like Russian and German tanks rolling across Europe. They thought optically it was bad and that they couldn't justify it to the German people. So what Joe Biden said is, hey, we'll send them Abrams tanks if you also agree to send tanks. But the deal was that the Germans give their tanks in the short term, we give them tanks in the long term, so that Germany can justify sending tanks by saying, hey, the United States is doing that as well. So that's just like an example of agreement in foreign policy that's just like, it's very back and forth. It's very complex. It's a lot of optics. It's things like that. And it's not just so simple as Donald Trump, who tries to make it so simple, just saying, hey, I'm going to call up Putin and Zelensky and tell them, hey, end this war. Or I'm going to go like step in the Middle East and tell them, hey, end this war, and it's going to happen. That's utter nonsense.
So do you think Biden would have done better than Trump if he became president?
Yes. A million times.
How if he can't even think straight? Like he has to
He
read
can think fine.
sticky
He can
notes
think
to,
just
like,
fine.
read a sentence, dude. Like have you not?
He can think
heard
just
him?
fine. That's what's always so funny. It's like about like Republicans' opinions on Biden. Like all of this work he's been doing behind the scenes when it comes to Russia, Ukraine, the Middle East, and just like domestic policy here in the United States. Like he is one of the most accomplished presidents in American history. Certainly the most accomplished in
Have
modern
you not seen
American
the
history.
videos of him like handshaking like the air, like not?
He didn't
knowing
handshake
what
the air. This is also like part of the misinformation campaign about Joe Biden. He wasn't handshaking the air. The video is just selectively edited. What he's doing is gesturing to a crowd in front of him. He was giving a speech, and then he walked to one side of the crowd or one side of the stage and like gestured to the big group of people there, waving to them and kind of opening his body, and then walked to the other side of the stage and did the same thing to the other side. Like the idea that he's like Joe Biden's shaking hands with the air. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Just fact check this stuff. Just look it up.
All right.
So anyway, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, just one more thing.
Gotcha.
So what do you think about what was I thinking about? Give me 1 second. So you think Biden has done a better job about the border?
Yes. Well, it's hard to say because it's like the president doesn't really control the border on the day to day.
I mean, I feel like Trump did better because all the like, even like the people from the borders were saying that they wanted Trump back because he was actually doing something about it. The people, Like the border
Yeah,
patrol.
but Trump wasn't actually like Trump didn't pass any major immigration legislation. He didn't pass any major bill to solve the problem. He didn't really do anything major on the border. Trump just again had the benefit of inheriting a system where there wasn't a mass influx of immigration. There wasn't anything really happening in South America or around the world that was forcing people out of their home country. Whereas Joe Biden did. He inherited COVID, which was forcing a lot of people out of their home country. There were certainly some conflicts still going on in South America that we had a higher number of people coming from that region, like Venezuela, for example, which has had a domestic conflict for a very long time now. But he had the benefit of just inheriting a really strong country. Trump inherited a really, really strong America that was set up for success, and he somehow blew it. So he gets to go around and parade and say, well, look at these numbers at the border. Look at the economic numbers. I'm so great. You have to reelect me. But in reality, we're just reelecting a con man. Mart, thanks for the subscription. It's almost like, somebody builds Apple, the company, all the way up to be $1 trillion in worth. And then a new guy comes in and says, well, look what I did. I built Apple. It's like, well, no, you didn't. Of course you didn't. And then somehow people believe that he did, right? So anyway.
And do you think that do you think Trump has done anything good in his presidency before or no?
I think there's some things that he did good. I think that like Operation Warp Speed, which was vaccine development, was good. I had no problem with that. I think that the First Step Act was good. I have no problem with that, even though there wasn't really Trump legislation. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly some things. But as a whole, his presidency was trash.
No, I do agree. I do agree with some of the things, like with the guy that he appointed with Kennedy, like how like they took a picture of like eating McDonald's like right after like appointing him. I found that kind of dumb. Like I was
It's kind of a slap in the face, right?
yeah, it is kind of stupid. But
Yeah.
the good thing is that one guy that he had nominated stepped down. I forgot what his name was.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who'd been
That's
credibly
good.
accused of doing inappropriate things with 2 minors.
Yeah. That's a good thing that guy didn't step up.
Yeah, but just think about that. That's like Trump's judgment. That's what Trump is, that's what he thinks is a good nominee. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely doesn't have a very good past. I just personally, like, obviously you don't think the same. I just think he did an okay job when he was president. I just prefer him over Kamala because I don't think I would have not known like the things that she would have done better for us. Like her policies.
But we shall agree to disagree then.
Like
shall agree
on
to disagree.
abortion, like people would vote on her because of that, right? But like, how technically could she change Roe v. Wade? Because that all it does is delegate the power to the states, right? So
she wanted to pass a policy that would codify it into federal law, so it'd be protected in every state, or appoint justices and lower court judges that would have ruled in a pro-choice way.
And you don't think that delegating the power to the states is good?
No. I think women in every single state should have consistent rights. So a woman in New York should not have more rights than a woman in North Dakota. And unfortunately, that's the way that the current system works. But anyway, listen, I have to circle up more guests. I want to give other people a chance to talk. But you're welcome to come back another day if you want to continue the conversation.
Appreciate you, Harry. No, honestly, I appreciate the stuff you do, man. And
Yeah, well, hey, man, I appreciate you willing to engage in conversation. That's awesome. It's true.
I respect you, bro.
All right, man. Have a good one, all right? Thanks, bub. All right, also, everybody, I'm going to talk to you, but we have to restart the live because we got flagged a moment ago.
Okay.
So will you come back up in just a second?
Yes, I will.
Amazing. All right. I'll be back in literally just a second. You'll come back up. All right. All right, everybody. I'm going to restart the live in just a second because, again, we got flagged, unfortunately. But we'll be back. All right. We'll be back. Uno minuto. 1 second. Thank you, Killer, for bringing him up immediately. That is very helpful. I appreciate you. But before I get in that conversation, Audrey, I appreciate the $1. It's fun watching you go down in history, but it might be more fun to watch you go. Jeez, Louis. Golly, sorry. Golly. Man, I appreciate you, Audrey. $1 from Daisy. I appreciate you, boy. You know what I do for work. I was a patient. That's true. I do know that. Well, I hope you're okay then. I hope you're okay. Yeah. Leonard, thanks for the $5. I've learned so much listening to your lives. Leonard, I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for being here. Just pretend, Audrey, what a funny message. That was actually very creative. I again, it just took me by surprise. I have to be better at like reading it beforehand, so it doesn't take me by surprise. All right, man. Hey, you voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, sir. It's me, cancer fighter Kevin. I was the guy that worked for Trump at one time. I told you I'd come back up once he won.
Were you the
good
guy
to
that like met with? I feel like I might recall this conversation. Did you meet with like Biden? You said he was a really good guy.
Yep. I
Nice,
worked
yeah.
for Biden, Joe Biden. Yep. Good to see
Okay.
you, Harry. Good to see you.
Good to see. I remember our conversation because I was how baffled I was, but I remember it nonetheless.
Well, I'm glad you're still around, and I'm glad your TikTok's working well.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah. So, go ahead.
No, I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate that.
Yep. I made the right decision. I made the right choice, and as much as I would have loved to seen Matt Gaetz in there, I'm glad that he picked somebody else. Pam Bondi is way better, more qualified. As much as I wanted to see, him just explode out the gate with whatever he had, what shenanigans he had, that would have been something.
Why
But,
would you have wanted Matt Gaetz? Just out of curiosity, this, as I mentioned to the gentleman before, he was credibly accused of
He's a
intercourse with two
firecracker.
minors.
He's a firecracker. No one knows what he would have done. Nobody. I would have loved to see what he would have done, though.
But don't you think that the allegations against him that he paid for intercourse, he engaged in intercourse with two 17-year-old girls? Don't you? He was like 35 at the time.
Well, I
Don't you think that's
understand
like-
that. I mean, other than that, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So other than like the statutory grape, hey, he's a great guy. No, come on, man, come on.
No, I'm just stating the fact that I would have loved to see what he would have done, being the DOJ himself. So, other than what he was being accused of and whatnot. So,
Which was very serious. You can agree.
well, yeah,
right?
I understand that.
But don't you think? I can you like this is so bothersome to me. Like, what is with a large swath of this country now thinking that like the conduct of people doesn't matter anymore? Like the conduct of Donald Trump, him assaulting women, being a criminal, whatnot, it just is not disqualifying. Or Matt Gaetz, you're putting your preference to see what he would do as Attorney General, him being a firecracker, over the fact that he's been credibly accused of assaulting minors. Isn't that Isn't the conduct? Can't you find somebody else who's qualified for the job and didn't do that?
Yeah, true. That's one thing Kamala has on herself, though, that she was very, very, considerate with that stuff. So
She was a good person, right?
she was a good person. Yeah, that's one thing I can say about her is she's never done anything illegal of that nature. So.
Oh my god, dude, this is like such an insane conversation.
Well,
I
hey,
don't
but
even
you
know how
know
to
what?
respond
I
to
mean,
that.
it's TikTok. Come on, right? There we go.
Okay.
But Harry, man, it's great to hear from you, though. Now, what's your plans now for you going on that new app, that Blue Tar or whatever the heck that is? That
Blue Sky?
Yeah, there you go. I've never been on that.
I'm on Blue Sky. By the way, if you're on Blue Sky and you haven't followed me yet, just for the viewers, it's at Real Harry J Sisson. Because I tried to get at Harry J Sisson, but somebody
Start it up tomorrow and give you a follow.
Okay, man.
I tried Tribal for a while, but that was just so complex. That was a Democrat.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
Oh, it was before Blue Sky. It's Tribal is a Democrat social media engine. So
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
oh, you've got to check it out. I mean, it's very complex though. So
All right, man. Well, if you have anything else,
hey, good news. My last of my cancer treatments is in 2 weeks. So I'll keep you
Congratulations.
informed. Thanks, man. And like I said,
Congratulations.
I've been a huge follower and a fan of yours for such a long time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you get into some politics. You know what I mean? Meaning like running for something. I told you the last time, you'd be great for something.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate, and maybe in the future, I'm not ruling it
I hope
out.
so.
You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Well, 22, so I can't really run. I can't run for anything federal yet, but
State rep.
we'll
State rep.
state rep. I could theoretically at this
You
age.
go.
I
Start
could.
out small. work your way up, man. That's all it is.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
First of all, you got the people power, and you've got the knowledge. Okay, so that's step 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got it, man. You can win it. Just you gotta get it right into it. Be a Democrat in the right portion of the city to get into the state rep. But anyways, listen, you're amazing. I'm a diehard follower.
Thanks, man.
You guys are amazing. I love what you do, and I'm a Democrat, and unless I will not vote for another Democrat unless we get somebody up in there that's well worth it and that intrigues me, then it's worth voting for. So,
you wouldn't have voted for Kamala Harris, or you wouldn't have voted for Biden, right? If he was still the nominee.
No, I wouldn't have voted for Biden.
Gotcha,
I made the right decision for voting down Trump. And it was in my heart, in my soul, that I had to do it for the people, and he's a father figure, maybe sometimes an angry father figure, but regardless, he's a good father figure. So he's doing the right thing, and I can't wait to see him. I went to Mar-a-Lago just 4 days ago, and I
hire a lawyer. Hire a lawyer.
No.
You probably witnessed a crime. You probably got to hire a defense lawyer, bro.
No, I went there to get a packet for a inaugurational packet, like I did when I worked for his last time. When I worked for his campaign, I got inaugural ball tickets, 2 tickets. I got I got to be on the lawn right next to the state capitol. I got pictures. I'll put it up. I'll post it on my my profile. But I went there to talk to some of my campaign people, that I used to work for. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing him inaugurated for the second time. So.
Okay. Well, anyway, man. All right. I'll leave it there. Good luck with your cancer treatments that are upcoming. We're all hoping for you.
Thank you, everyone, for your gifts, your guts, and thank you.
All right, man. Have a good one. I appreciate it.
You too. Bye-bye.
Oh, dude. What the... God. Yo, Sydney, thanks for the $2. Harry, all these donations are breaking my bank. You should be breaking. Oh my God. I'm sure you can infer where she was going with that. Sydney, I appreciate you. Trista, thanks for the $5. You said last night you're an atheist. Well, I'm a witch. Together we can prove that magic doesn't need a god to work. That was pretty smooth. That's pretty smooth. That was a good one. Drew, thanks for the $5. I don't know if I should read that out. I don't know if I should read that out. What I will say is, does she not? Can you respond on the payment and say if does she have like a state attorney? Because she has a right to like an attorney. You know what I'm saying? Like she has a right. So if she doesn't have an attorney in the state, I think that's the best path. Anyway, just respond to that and then we'll talk a little bit further. Amber, thanks for the $10. You're the only man I'd choose over the bear. Well, I'm flattered. I appreciate that. Cameron, thanks for the $1. You're the only thing I need to see under the Xmas tree. I appreciate you, Cameron. Daisy, I'm good, but need vitamin D. Can you help? All right. If you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up and we can talk. Also, drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time, post videos, all that good stuff. Double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 100,000 likes. And of course, spam those shares down there. It helps boost it live. So let me know if you're MAGA. We'll bring you up. We'll talk. All right. This guy says he's MAGA. His name is Justin. Let's get him up here. Shepard says he's MAGA. We'll bring him up as well. Justin, hello.
Yo, what's up, dude?
How old are you, bro?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2006.
Okay, you voted for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he said he was gonna put like no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and yeah.
God love you, man.
Wait, also, there's this guy. He said he's willing to debate you, but for some reason, I think people are saying that you're too scared to debate him. His name is Hunter Howell.
I'm not familiar with Hunter Howell, but he's welcome to come in the live and debate anytime.
Yeah, he tried going to your live literally today, but I think one of your moderators just banned him or something.
I don't think my moderators don't have power to ban.
Or he was muted, or you might have muted him or something.
didn't mute him. But if he wants to come up and I don't know if you're like a buddy of his, I don't know if it's like your friend or something. But if he wants to come up and debate, he's welcome to do that. We let everybody up here and debate. Anybody that wants to, happy to do it. Colin, thanks for the subscription, man.
All right, give me 1 second.
Are you here to debate or are you here to like advocate on his behalf?
No, I was just like here to just like have a conversation on why like I voted, basically.
Sure. Well, I just also want to say that, like, you know, Trump is not going to remove your taxes on tips and overtime and Social Security and things like that. That's just like not going to happen. And so it's always really sad when somebody says that to me. It's because it's like you were bamboozled is one of my favorite words now. You're bamboozled into voting for Donald Trump to believe that, oh, he's going to be able to do this magical thing and give you so much more income. But even if he does that, we won't have enough federal revenue to fund the programs that are important to us and important to a lot of people. So I'm not sure if that's a path we want to go down. But anyway. Any objection to that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, you have a good rest of the night, bro. Be all right. Shepard, my man, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You vote in the United States?
Yeah, it's because I went to a British boarding school, but yeah, I did vote. Yeah,
what state did you vote in?
Kentucky.
Kentucky? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you voted for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
So the only issue that really like resonates with me is the abortion issue, and about like 90.
What city in Kentucky did you vote in?
Coldstream. Anyway, so 90,000 plus children are currently alive right now because of Trump giving the states the power to ban abortion, or the Supreme Court the power to ban abortion. I think it's around 90,000, but it's around 30,000 children each year, and it's been almost 3 years since they were trailing a row. You're saying that these kids are alive now? Yeah, kids that would have been aborted are currently living right now.
Okay.
Because of him.
And so that made you want to vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, because she has a very pro-abortion stance, so there's absolutely no way I'm going to vote for that. Someone who supports that.
Why not?
Because abortion is schmurder. Well, not schmurder technically, not legally, but it should be illegal.
Why should it be illegal? Because look, there's a difference between moral and policy. So why is it the right policy?
What? Because millions of children because people get to live.
Yeah, but that doesn't speak to it being effective or efficient for the people. Because politics is not a means to like exercise your morals, right? It's a means to make people's lives better. So something can be like you can disagree with on a fundamental level, but might make people's lives better nonetheless.
Yeah,
and if it's efficient for society. So what was that?
Yeah, that's true. I do agree with you. Keeping abortion legal probably has multiple economic benefits than it does negative ones, but I don't really care. I'm not going to allow a genocide of a group of people.
Jesus, what a stupid thing to say. We're not just talking about economic benefit, although that's certainly an aspect. We're just talking about like health, economic, societal, whatever it might be. I always cite this to people that the WHO and other global health organizations have found that in countries where women have access to reproductive care, abortion included, their life expectancy is better, their financial status is better, their quality of life is better. All of that's better. So what you're advocating for is in the United States, relegating women to a future that is not as prosperous, not as secure, and not as full of health. And on top of that, we see the specific groups that are most impacted by abortion bans, those being like low income and women of color. So there's a racial aspect, there's an economic aspect, there's a social aspect. And do you trust the government? Like right now, or at least Roe v. Wade was viability, right? So up to viability, a state didn't have an interest in regulating abortion. Do you trust the government in any of these states to regulate abortion? Do you trust them to do that with care?
What do you mean by regulate?
Regulate, meaning, ban at a certain.
Like the government, they have the power to ban it.
Yeah, so the reason I'm asking, do you trust them, is because we're already seeing like the negative consequences of these bans. We have Amber Nicole Thurman in Georgia who died as a result of not having access to abortion care.
No. She died she attempted to, not even attempted, she died due to complications from murdering her unborn twins. She deserved it.
You have a good rest of your night, all right? How about you get the fuck out of here and stop being a piece of shit? How about you're good, bro. That's we're not doing that. We are not doing that. That's an instant kick, by the way. You say some dumb shit like that to me. You say some stupid shit like that in front of all these people. That's an instant kick. How about you? You see that cliff over there? Just keep walking. Anna, thanks for the $2. I love your lives and I fall asleep to them here in Texas. Complimentary. You've become a part of my night routine, and I hope you have an amazing year in future. P.S. Audrey is an animal. Please always read her Venmo comments. Yeah, I can probably do that. Emily, thanks for the $1. If he's a father figure, then I want an emancipation. Ain't that the truth? Daisy, thanks for the $1. I don't think I can read that out, Daisy. I don't think I can read that out. Yeah, no, that's an instant kick, bro. You're good, bro. How about you get the hell out of the live, all right? Yeah, that's an instant kick. You get out of here. It's so cruel the way that some of these freaks talk about, reproductive rights. You know what I mean? It's just so gross, man. So gross. Anyway, Venmo, Cash App in the link in the bio if you want to support the. Okay, people are saying read it again. Since it's Daisy, Daisy's a big supporter, so I will. She said, Oh man, she said, man, this is real. It's tough to read out, man. It really is tough to say, dude. It's like tough to read, bro. She said, docs. Oh man, doctor said doctor said your vitamin D specifically is needed. I don't know. Appreciate you, Daisy, for the $1. Linda, thanks for the $1, saying what an amazing human being. I hope you weren't. I know you weren't referencing that last guy. Anyway, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up and you can tell me why you're MAGA. Example of being like, as I was just talking about, the weird freak before you being pro-choice is aligned with my morals and values. Expanding healthcare access via like the Affordable Care Act is aligned with my morals and values. And these are things that Kamala Harris was talking about. And she's very accomplished. To answer your other question about why I did that, has a storied career, dedicated public servant, and has a lot of policy I agree with.
Okay,
I'm happy to elaborate on any of those things, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's great. I am like, I've scrolled through your live quite a few times, but I haven't ever come up and asked questions. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 22.
If that's not too personal. 22. Are you aware that essentially I'm 42, so I've seen a little bit more, not age shaming. Are you aware that essentially it's like a yo-yo? Like it's always bouncing one side to the other. One side comes in, they mess up all the stuff that the previous one did, and then the next one, and then the next one. And so it's like a perpetual, never-ending cycle of one side fighting over the other. And we all have these different personality traits that fit into these different groups. And because of that, it always keeps us divided over beliefs over what's good and bad.
That's a very reductionist way to look at American politics, or a very strange way to look at politics generally. Like the idea that it's just this constant back and forth, that nothing ever gets accomplished and nothing ever happens, is just not in line with history. Like just take a look at the women's suffrage movement or the civil rights movement. Those are things that were fought, for a long time. And eventually things were changed. Can you be quiet for 5 seconds? A lot of those things changed. A lot of those things got improved for the better. And now the overwhelming majority of society, with the exception of a few weirdos out there, agrees with civil rights, agrees with women's suffrage. So on a lot of these major topics, there's a lot of progress to be made. And on major policy, there's a lot of progress to be made, and a lot of progress that we can agree on and move forward. And yes, there are things that the Republicans do and the Democrats do, and we undo and we redo and things like that.
You are admitting
it. Progress is slow. It's never going to be fast. Thank you, Country for the Galaxy.
So what about colonization and the fact that we're living in a system post-World War II that was created by those very people?
So define that for me. When you talk about colonization, are you talking about our presence in different countries with military bases or what?
Well, I would say that like the entire westernized world, or maybe include the Commonwealth into that as well.
And when you say the entire Western world, like, can you be a little bit more specific when you're talking about colonization?
Europe, United States, Canada, essentially people that live under the
you're
law,
Canadian?
The law of democracy.
Wait, you're Canadian?
No. Boulder, Colorado.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Why are everybody saying you're Canadian?
I have no idea.
Let's find out. Why are you folks saying he's Canadian?
So let's see if I know this person. Nikki, let's see. Nope, not following me.
Okay. Whatever. Say the last thing you said again.
I don't know. It was more about the whole colonization and it was the Western world. So like basically anybody that identifies with democracy, which democracy is essentially an oligarchy. Are you aware of what that is?
No, I understand what you're talking about when you say oligarchy, but
Do you know? So you
like,
do know what that
I'm
word
still
means?
I'm still confused as what you mean when you say like we are asking about like how is colonization not improved, and you mean like democracy when you're referencing colonization. Like,
Sorry,
I understand when you continue to say colonization, I'm just confused. Like I'm not understanding what you mean by that in terms of like the conversation of like power going back and forth.
Well, it's you know how like okay, this is a little side thought. You know how everybody talks about like Rome, like how men think of Rome because we sort of live in their system, like they're the ones that created this type of political system that we live in.
Sure.
So essentially that means that Rome took over the world, and if we go back look into them, they weren't very good people and they did horrible things to their people.
Oh, your PayPal is Canadian.
It is.
Oh, okay. Goodbye. You didn't vote for
Nah,
Donald Trump, you
you
liar. Thanks, everybody. God, you guys did some great investigative work there. You did great investigative work there. Good on you. Good on you. Bella, thanks for the $5. Are you taking applications for Miss Sissit? Well, the link is in my bio. Just fill out an application. I'm joking. Elise, thanks for the under. I appreciate you. Rebecca, good to see you, Rebecca. Don't forget the OG mom with the daughter. Never, Rebecca. I appreciate you. Jamie, thanks for the $1. December 18th, I have neck surgery. I need you live every night for 2 weeks straight so I can watch debates while recovering. So from December 18th onwards, first of all, I hope your surgery goes well. December 18th onward, I should do at least enough lives during that point. Sydney, thanks for the $1. Kamala Harris, more like I can't. Whoa. Can't read at that one. Now that one I actually can't read out live. Sydney, again, thanks for the $1. If anyone ever gets into my Venmo and sees the history, I'm so cooked. Yeah, I imagine so, right? I imagine so. Just have to have those things be private, I guess. Blair, thanks for the $1. I forgot to watch you on my drive home. I miss my daily live serotonin. Well, we're still here for a little bit. We're still here. Oh my God, I cannot read that out. Lil P, thanks for the $5. I appreciate you. I cannot read that out. Absolutely not. Daisy, thanks for the $1. Oh, I can't read that out, Daisy. Javier, thanks for the $1. Thanks for talking to me. Debate Charlie Kirk. 100% would debate him. If he wants to debate, happy to do that. Brittany, thanks for the $5. Love listening to your lives while I'm at work. Well, I'm glad that maybe it makes the shift go a little bit quicker, Garrett, thanks for the $5 as well, man. Love what you do, man. Please run for office. I'd happily run for office. Maybe one day. All right, let's bring up Nicholas. He is MAGA. Venmo Cash App in the link in the bio if you want to support the live. Also drop a follow if you haven't already. And double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 200,000 likes. Nicholas, hello.
Harry, you're my Sigma.
Oh my
Sigma. Have a good night. Love you.
Thanks, Nicholas. Appreciate you, man. Oh my God, bro. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this, bro. I let him finish his song, bro. Bro, what the fuck, man? Oh my God, dude. I'm so sick of this stuff, bro. I'm so sick of it. Hello.
Hi. What? Anyways.
Okay.
My bad. Go ahead.
Hello, bro. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, my bad. Before you asked, July 1st, 2005.
Okay. And you voted for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Okay, I lied. I love you. Bye. Your voice is hot. Good night.
I appreciate you. Oh, man. Dude. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on. Somebody in the comments, what's going on? Hello, bro.
Hi, I just would like to say I do appreciate, all the work that you do, and you do educate yourself, and I do admire that. I'm also young, like you, so I just want to say that I know that there's a lot of people on here that might be a little bit more disrespectful and all that, but at least I'm not like that, and I just do respect what you do.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. And so did you vote for Trump?
I did. Yes. And my reasoning is, I mean, I think regardless of who the president is, if you get to meet the president, I think that's pretty cool. If I was able to meet Joe Biden, I would also love that opportunity and respect that because he's still our president. And when I met Trump, I got to sit
You
with
met
him.
Trump?
Yes.
What led up to that? How did you meet Donald Trump?
So I was at an event I'm from New Hampshire, but I was at an event in Georgia, and he also was there because my father is part of a company. I don't kind of feel 100% comfortable saying that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but so he was there, and it was just like a shock, and just what he did, like a speech, and he was talking, and it just kind of inspired me. Maybe that's because I seen him in person, and I'm not saying I definitely wouldn't ever vote like Democrat because I think I'm definitely always open to that, but I just really wanted to come on here and say that I do appreciate what you do, and we're not all like crazy because I do admit there is a lot, but we're not all.
All right. Well, I guess we'll leave it there. Hey, regardless of disagreement, I still appreciate you supporting and watching and being willing to engage with the other side.
I actually enjoy watching all your videos because
Thanks, man.
I know 100% that not everything is true that all Trump supporters listen to. So I actually really enjoy watching what you post because it gives it a well-rounded, educated decisions,
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate that, man. Genuinely, even if we, as I mentioned, even if we disagree, the fact that you're able to watch my videos and watch the lives, man, I appreciate that a lot. All right. So no hate. Yeah, I just appreciate it. All right.
Yeah. No, of course. Thank you.
All right, Nino. Have a good one, man. I appreciate you a lot. Thanks, bud. Yo, Kimberly, thanks for the $25. I'm 40. You may be 22, but you were walking circles around this guy. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you. You're very kind. And thank you for being here. It means a lot. Stephanie, thanks for the $5. 31-year-old millennial follower here. Thanks for all that you do in educating the next generation. You're appreciated. Stephanie, I hope that you're appreciated as well. As I always say, it takes all of us. It's not just me or Parker or Dean or anybody. It's going to take all of us, and you're part of that fight. So, Stephanie, thank you, and thank you for your support as well. I hope you know I appreciate you. Sophia, thanks for the $5. Do you have any pets? Love all that you do. I do have pets. I have 2 dogs. Excuse me, wrong way. 2 cats, 1 dog. They're both gorgeous. They're all gorgeous. I love all of them very much. Megan, thanks for the $20. Love you, Harry. Keep up the good work. Megan, you keep up the good work as well. I know you're working hard. I know you're working hard in your personal life. I know you got stuff going on, but you're persevering regardless. So thank you. I appreciate you. Paloma, thanks for the $2 in Cash App. Keep up the good work. You too, Paloma. I appreciate you. Jenna, thanks for the $10. Who's winning it all? College football, NBA, NFL. I don't really watch the NBA all that much to make a call. NFL, I think the Super Bowl, I don't even know. It's probably going to be the Chiefs again. I mean, realistically. And then in terms of college football, it's probably going to be Texas. Even though I don't want it to be Texas, it's going to be Texas. Maybe. We'll see. She is blank. I can't probably say that on live, but $1. You're a hard worker. I hope I have an opening you can fill. Oh. Just wasn't it just came from left field. It just came from left field, man. It just came from left field, dude. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man, dude. Oh man. Listen, hey, if you're here, make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. Double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 300,000 likes. When that bar comes up, that pink bar, fill it up once, twice, maybe 3 times. Also spam those shares down there. Helps boost the live as well. And Venmo, Cash App, link in bio. Maha, are you there by any chance?
I am. Hello. I'm 38 from Alaska, and I did vote Trump, and I am Maha for a reason. I voted Democrat my entire life. I was rather disappointed with the Biden administration and the fact that we didn't even have a choice with, correct me if I'm wrong, Kamala?
Bingo. Yeah.
Thank you, Kamala. And I honestly stopped watching the mainstream media. I found Kennedy, who kind of opened my eyes more to what was going on. And I was just in such disbelief. So I dug further and further. And, yeah, I guess my party, it feels like they left me and I joined the MAGA Maha movement.
I don't even know where the fuck to start, to be completely honest. Let's start with the Democratic Party. You're saying that the Democrats didn't give you a choice. Is that my understanding? That's your critique?
Well, because I thought Biden was running, and then all of a sudden they kind of, threw him off the cliff and just decided that Kamala was it.
Okay. So were you a Democrat at this point already, or were you already like planning to vote for Trump when Biden dropped out of the race?
Definitely was not planning on voting Trump. If I'm being very honest, I had severe TDS, severe. Like I couldn't stand his voice. I couldn't stand looking at him. Nothing about him did I like. At this point, I was fully like, I didn't like anybody. And then my husband mentioned Kennedy, and I looked into him and, saw what was happening in Maui and our poison in our food and just everything. And I was like, man, he actually is speaking about problems that we actually have, and he has policies to back them. So I full-heartedly was going to vote for Kennedy. And then
or you were going to vote for wait, you were at the time that Biden dropped out of the race, you were going to vote for Kennedy.
At that exact time, I didn't know who I was voting for.
Okay. So then why, I'm just out of curiosity, like why did Biden dropping out of the race like affect you at all? Because first of all, the party followed the delegate process and like within party rules, right? So if the party, for example, nominates somebody to be president of the United States, let's say that the Democratic Party tomorrow or the next election nominates you to be their nominee for the Democratic Party. A bunch of people vote for you, hypothetically. You'd probably say, well, I don't want to be president of the United States. There's no law forcing you to go through with that, right? There's nothing at that time requiring you to appear on the ballot or be the nominee. You have to go to like the convention and accept it and have the delegates pledge to you. If you do that, if you drop out before that, you're not required to be the Democratic nominee. Thus, the party then, the delegates who are elected by the people, then can cast their ballots or their votes for a different nominee as the party process requires. So that's how the party rules work. So just out of curiosity, what were you expecting the Democratic Party to do? Like Joe Biden dropped out of the race. He endorsed Kamala Harris, which is within his right to do so. I mean, he's allowed to endorse somebody. What were you expecting the party to do instead?
Well, I wasn't expecting our party to lie to us for 3 years about Biden's condition, and worse, Kamala did as well. She held his hand up there and continued to tell the American people that he was just.
Wait, can I just, well, happy to talk about that, but that doesn't answer the question.
Well,
You're like,
that's
oh, we
my
got stuck with
problem.
Kamala, that
We
they were
did.
just, she was forced on us. What did you want the party to do? Did you want them to
Choose
break their own
anybody but
rules?
her. Choose anybody but her. Somebody who didn't lie to the American people.
You understand that you voted for Trump, who lied 30,000 times during his presidency, lied about the election, lied about his policy, lied about his accomplishments, lied about his business record, lied about him as a person constantly.
So I didn't personally, my feelings on this is I didn't necessarily vote for Trump. I voted for Trump's team because I think they have it
You
together.
filled in
and
his
they're
name on the
gonna make
ballot,
it.
whatever way you want to fill
Because
it.
it's
Yeah.
his team, right? The Democratic team has failed us. For how many years have they been in power? And not much has gone good.
God, there's so much to talk about with you. I mean, I want to talk about that.
Spell
I guess
the
we'll
word AB if you want. I'm adopted.
you can
And-
what?
AB.
I'm happy to talk about that, but we can talk about a variety of things, no problem. But you said that the Democratic Party has been failing us. How?
Okay. How do we have all these illegal immigrants here that are housed and given money, and we have so many homeless? The homeless population, especially
crazy,
from
man.
Alaska, is so bad. It's gotten worse and worse every year.
So you have a Republican governor, Alaska. You have,
Right
I think, a
now?
Republican legislator for the most part. I don't know. You're both your Senate and House Republican. Yeah.
I actually didn't vote Republican for my state, but yes.
I'm not
the Republican did win.
asking whether you voted Republican for your state. I'm just asking, is the Republican House and Senate, or is the Senate and Alaska and House, are they Republican?
Yeah, they're Republican.
So your own state has some work to do in terms of homeless population. But yeah, so these immigrants that you're talking about, the majority of people that have come in recent years are asylum seekers, meaning that they're legal. Seeking asylum in the United States, even if you're here temporarily pending a court date, is a legal process, meaning that when they come into the United States, they are legal.
Okay, but they came in illegally.
No. They sought asylum at the border and then were let in legally. Right. And so for a lot of people right now, since the system is so backed up, it can take anywhere from like 4 to 7/8 years for their court dates to be addressed. That's why there's such a, and the only reason there's such a backup is because there's been an influx of asylum seekers. But that's why there's kind of like so many at once. And Kamala Harris and Joe Biden proposed a policy that would have reduced that time to under 6 months. So instead of 4 to 8 years for a court date, it can take under 6 months. And the Republicans rejected that policy.
I agree with it being a shorter time frame. I don't think anybody should have to wait that long to become an American citizen if they do it the correct way.
It's not even citizenship yet, by the way.
The correct way. They're driving cars, they're hitting people and unaliving them.
What are you talking about?
So I think where you're getting your information is from the mainstream media, and I'm getting my information from word of mouth from people who see it, who've reported it. It's also on other news channels, but not one you watch, right?
So none of the information. First of all, getting information from like a mainstream media source, like I guess you'd qualify like the New York Times as a mainstream media source, is not a bad source of information. Like it's so frustrating when people say crap like this, like, oh, CNN, MSNBC, you can't get it. I've spoken to people that work at MSNBC. Their vetting process for verifying information is so extensive. So you have somebody that word of mouth, somebody that says something or something that they witnessed. Their vetting process versus the vetting process of like a major news organization is completely and vastly different. They have like actual fact checkers at all these news agencies to ensure what they're reporting is correct. And hold on, I'm not done yet. So you just saying like word of mouth, that is insane. And what are you, before the printing press? I mean, we're in a modern age of news. You can do a way better job at informing yourself as an American citizen than word of mouth. We have media, right? And also, I just want to be clear, none of what I'm citing is coming from mainstream media sources. A lot of this is government data.
So you watched the debate, right?
Which one?
The one with Kamala and Trump,
Yes.
where they fact-checked him repeatedly and
They
not
fact checked him 5
her,
times.
and not her.
They fact checked him 5 times in 90 minutes. And they didn't fact check Kamala Harris because she didn't tell any egregious lies.
Yeah,
the lies
she
that Donald
did. How about
Trump,
the fact that we have
the lies that Donald Trump told were like, dogs are being eaten by Haitian immigrants, which is objectively false.
Well, not
So
if you
them
look
pointing
at
that out
word of
that's
mouth in the
false is
videos
probably a good
and the
thing,
police
right?
Reports. There's police reports on it. That's
Yeah,
not a
so
lie.
the governor of Ohio, who's Mike DeWine, who's endorsed by Donald Trump, a Republican, said that this is not happening. The mayor of Springfield, Ohio, said that this is not happening. There's no police
Right,
reports.
and that's where
There's
you're
nothing.
not looking deeper. There is police reports.
So give me an example of a police report of this happening.
Well, I can't give that to you.
No, off the dome. Whoa, you can't just say that this is happening and then back down and say, well, I can't give it to you. Please give me an example of this actually happening and being verified.
There is a police report. There is a video connected with this police report.
What was the
of this
video?
woman who was eating, I can't remember if it was cat or dog right now, but 'cause
I'm
that
so
was-
happy that you brought her up. Was it nighttime? Was the body footage like nighttime?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I'm so happy you brought that up because this is one of the most cited examples from people, and this is what I mean when you say like word of mouth is not a good and reliable source of information. That woman, first of all, that was not Springfield, Ohio. Second of all, that was Ohio, but a different city. Second of all, it was a native-born American. Did you know
That's
that?
not on that video. I'll have to relook at it.
No. Let's do it. Let's just do this together. Ohio woman eats cat. Fact check. Let's look at fact check. Yeah, because I this whole like word of mouth thing, it pisses me off when I hear shit like this. Yeah.
It's not just word of mouth, like I said, but
You
can
just said
turn-
word of mouth.
You guys tend to do that.
You just said word of mouth.
I said both.
You said what as well?
There's other news sources.
Like
But I
can you
also
give me an
look
example?
Well, I'm going to give you one that you can laugh your ass off. Fox News. How about that?
Okay.
Nation. Okay,
Yeah,
that's another
Fox News is not even reporting that this is the case. So the graphic video viewable on sorry, wait, hold on. Let me start at the beginning. Some social media posts present body cam footage of a woman's arrest in Canton, Ohio for killing and eating a cat to support the online narrative. But Canton police spokesperson Dennis Guerin said in an email, the suspect in this case is not a Haitian immigrant. She's a lifelong Canton resident. The graphic video viewable on YouTube shows the August 16th arrest of Alexis Telia Farrell, who allegedly killed, allegedly killed and ate a cat in Canton. Stark County Commons Police Court records show for Farrell that she was charged with cruelty to companion animals. She's a native-born American citizen. She's a resident of Canton, Ohio. You can look at the clip, and again, spokespeople of the police department there are verifying this was a native-born American citizen.
So in the county you were talking about with this governor, whatever, didn't he was saying like the apartments were not being, doors kicked in and rent being taken and all this stuff, right? Because there's literally video footage of that as well in the news, not
Of
just
what?
word of mouth.
Are you talking about Ohio? Are you sure you're not? I think you're mixing up two different conspiracy theories. I think you're mixing up Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah, no, now I'm talking about Colorado.
Yeah, so Aurora, Colorado, there is a singular video out there of bad people doing bad things. But the police, again, police spokespeople in that area, the governor of Colorado, the mayor of Aurora, all confirm that no apartment buildings have been taken over.
Then why was there video footage of them taking over? And furthermore, of this apartment complex is being shut down.
You want to fact just check this as well? Do you really want to do this? Did apartment building in Aurora get taken over? It's that easy. Just look this up. Ready? Aurora police chief said there's no evidence that Venezuelan.
Scary.
This is from NPR. Aurora police chief says there's no evidence that Venezuelan gangs took over the apartment. Video gang members in Aurora, Colorado apartment building had right-wing media declaring the city's takeover by Venezuelan gangs. Police say that's hyperbole.
And you don't think all these people are like owned by BlackRock and everything and have a reason to lie?
I'm sorry. The police in Aurora, Colorado are owned by BlackRock?
No, the governor and stuff. They don't have.
This is not the governor. This is not the governor. Also, how would the governor be owned by BlackRock?
Harry, they're all intertwined, and that's why they're cherry picking things and they're feeding lies.
Do you not see that you have like one of the worst cases of confirmation bias ever? That when you see a video that confirms your belief, you automatically believe that video not only to be accurate, but that any other explanation is automatically incorrect. So we have the governor, the mayor, the police, all different groups, all different people saying, yeah, this is actually not happening. And there's no evidence of it happening. There's one video showing bad people doing bad things, but that's not indicative of an apartment building being taken over. If all, hold on. If all of these different groups are saying that it's false, you're saying that the police and the police chief and the mayor and the governor are all owned by BlackRock.
I'm not saying they all are. I'm just saying, don't you think there could be more to this? Because
No.
you haven't even considered that. Okay.
No, there's just not
what about
evidence to support
the
it.
priest that got ran over by an illegal
Who?
immigrant, or the girl that got murdered. I mean, all this has been in the news. You should know exactly what I'm talking
Who are
about.
you,
since you're so well-informed.
are you talking? What girl are you talking about that was unalived, and who are you talking about that was run over?
I don't remember the exact names.
Okay. Do you know who Molly Tibbetts is?
Why don't you inform me?
You don't know who Molly Tibbetts is. Let me maybe take a step back. The girl that was killed that you were referencing. Are you talking about Laken Riley?
Keep going, Harry. Just keep going.
No, I'm trying to clarify who you're
Well,
referencing.
I'm pretty good at roasting me right now because you definitely are used to being up here on a platform. Shit. Hold on. Sorry, can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
You're used to being on a platform. I am not. I haven't even done a live since I voted. I'm not normally even on social media, but I had to be. That's another sad part of the censorship. I was censored when I was on Kennedy's campaign. I was censored. You don't have a problem with that.
These companies are private companies and have the right to do it. There's no censorship, right? They're allowed to do it if they want. Now, were you talking about Laken
I
Riley?
thought that was a part of our Constitution.
There's
Freedom of
nothing.
speech.
There's no. You do not have a right. You do not have a right to freedom of speech on platforms. You have the freedom of speech. The First Amendment protects you from the government silencing you or hindering your freedom of speech. TikTok or Twitter, whoever platform you're referencing, they can ban you. That's not a violation of freedom of speech. They're a private company, right? So anyway, point is, what I was asking regarding Molly Tibbetts, that was a woman who was killed by an undocumented migrant under Donald Trump. And this is not to blame undocumented migrants for crime, because actually undocumented migrants commit significantly less crime than native-born Americans. Significantly less. They actually commit less crime than legal immigrants. So in terms of like ranking, they commit the least amount of crime out of all the groups. But Molly Tibbetts is a woman that was killed by an undocumented migrant under Donald Trump. and you don't know who she is. None of the Trump supporters know
I
who she
didn't
is.
say that,
Do-
Harry. I'm
no,
actually
you don't.
just
You
trying to
don't.
understand where
Donald
you're
Trump
coming
doesn't know
from.
who she is. Donald Trump and the Republicans never bring her up because what many of Republicans do, what many Trump voters do, and Trump himself do, is they politicize the deaths of these people. So with Laken Riley, they talk about Laken Riley all the time. They use it to demonize immigrants and give themselves political points. But they never talk about Molly Tibbetts because it's not politically expedient, right? It doesn't help them. So
think both
maybe you
sides
shouldn't
probably do
side with
that.
people who uses people's deaths and their unalivings as a political points. Maybe you should side with people who are like, let's address this issue and get to the bottom of it, not the people who just pretend to care.
Okay, what about all the missing children? Do those matter or not?
First of all, they're not
Most
missing.
people
The
who
government.
have been unalive don't matter. We've got that checkbox. Now,
The-
what about missing children?
Wait, say that again?
You heard me.
I know I genuinely didn't.
That people being unalive shouldn't be used as a political thing. That doesn't matter. So we're setting that one aside. Checkbox. Now we're talking about
You're
missing
misunderstanding.
children.
I'm happy to talk about the missing children. People being unalived matters, but it shouldn't be exploited by a party for political gain, right? Because it's not like with, for example, right? Amber Nicole Thurman in Georgia is somebody who lost their life. That's as a result of politics. That's as a result of something that Republicans did. So you can bring that up in a political conversation and be like, this death is preventable. She did not have to die, which is the case with someone like Amber Nicole Thurman. With Laken Riley, there's no policy that the Democrats put into place that led to Laken Riley's death. So the Republicans trying to politicize that and put that on the Democrats, it's just straight up evil, especially when they don't hold that same standard, right? The Democrats are opposed to anybody dying as a result of not being given reproductive care. The Republicans, on the other hand, they pick and choose what people to care about when it comes to them losing their lives. Now, on the missing children, they're not missing. The government just couldn't get in contact with either the child, the sponsor, or both. This is a consistent theme throughout American history. Donald Trump, under his presidency, there were tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who couldn't be contacted. It doesn't mean that they're missing. It doesn't mean that they've just poofed into thin air. It just means that the government simply wasn't able to make that contact. That's all.
Or the millions of dollars that they also lost that were supposed to go to these children to protect them.
What are you talking about? The millions of dollars that are meant to go to them?
That's all over the news too. Okay, well, thank you, Harry. I really appreciate. I get where one of my close friends is coming from now. I'm sorry. I really.
What
I
did
pray
your,
for
did your
all-
close friends say something about me?
No, I've seen you here and there, and was hoping to run into you on a live just so we could, have a chat about, I guess what you guys think, because I care. I'm on both sides. I'm in the middle.
Oh, but you're not in the middle.
Oh, I am. That's
You're
why
not.
I'm Maha. I am totally in the
But
middle.
you're not. That's
Just
what you- that's
because
what-
I voted one way, I voted another in my own state,
no.
and
But
I
you
can
are-
vote any
you
which
are-
way I want.
You're allowed to vote whatever way you want, but I'm asking you as an American citizen to pull yourself out of the conspiracy rabbit hole. Not everybody's evil. Not everybody's coming after you. Not everybody that works in the government is automatically bought in and bought by BlackRock, right? It's just
I don't think
not
anybody thinks
true.
people are evil.
I know, but you're trying to frame this as, oh, Joe Biden did this, oh, Kamala Harris did this. Donald Trump is so great. The Democrats have been working for us.
Actually,
They
don't think
installed
Joe
Kamala.
Biden did anything. I think he's been sleeping behind the wheel a bit, and that's unfortunate. But that happens to all of us when we get to a certain age.
Well, he had a neurological report that was released this year by people and neurologists and experts that work at Walter Reed, which serve like veterans and service members and government officials. And you can go read it on whitehouse.gov. They found no issue or no evidence of a neurological disorder. So inform yourself and please
so
pull
I
yourself
have
out of.
seen him
No, you have
talk.
not.
I've
You have
seen him
not.
talk. He even put
You
a
have not.
Trump hat on, and he looked disillusioned, like he didn't know what was going on.
See, this is again just like confirmation bias 101. You're saying that when Biden put on a Trump hat, he looked disillusioned. You're trying to find things to like back up your argument, not just
That is
looking at
one of
evidence
many,
objectively.
Harry. That is one of many.
Hold on. When he put on that Trump hat, he was at a 9/11 memorial ceremony, right? And he put on the Trump hat and gave a gentleman his hat in return to show like bipartisan political unity, because it was 9/11. It was not a
he
moment for
didn't.
politics.
The guy handed him the hat. He didn't even look at it, and he put it on and just had this weird smile on his face. Like, and
Oh my
what
God, he
about where
smiled.
he's
Arrest
mid-sentence
him.
and he loses what he's saying?
Yeah.
And people have
So-
to like fill in to talk for him. You can't explain this away, Harry.
You can if you just watch his entire speeches. You find like
Oh,
selective.
I've watched them.
100%.
And there
No,
are
you do not.
glitches.
I'm sorry. No,
And
you do
those
not.
glitches don't belong in
Really?
running our country.
Do you want to watch like a part of a Biden speech right now?
No, I really don't wish to.
Of course you don't, because you don't watch Biden speeches. I know exactly what you do. Trust me. I talk to people all the time that disagree with me. Hold on. I know people exactly like you. I know people exactly like you. You don't actually watch entire Biden speeches. What you do is you go on social media or word of mouth, as you would like to claim, and you watch selective clips that paint a picture about Joe Biden. The Republicans have been pushing a narrative about Joe Biden, that he's not fit to serve, that he's this or that. But the evidence is just of the contrary. We have medical reports. We have Republicans complimenting his medical ability.
I identify as a Republican. Please stop calling me one. Stop telling me who I am when you don't know me.
I'm giving you my opinion as to who you are, and you voted for Donald Trump. So maybe how about this? I'll change the label. I'll call you a Trump voter. What Trump voters do and what Republicans have been doing. By the way, I didn't call you Republican. I was saying the Republican Party, but I digress. I'll still call you a Trump voter no matter what, because that's more appropriate.
What my people do, right? You were pointing in that direction.
Trump voters. Yes.
You're just
Yes.
lying straight up to my face.
Trump voters. Yeah. So what Trump voters do to make you feel a little bit more comfortable with the label is a lot of them have been painting the Republican Party as a whole. Again, not labeling you. Don't worry. Is they've been painting this narrative about Joe Biden for years, but in reality, he's one of the most successful presidents in modern American history, and even Republicans have complimented him on his ability. Kevin McCarthy called him tough in negotiation. Ted Cruz said that Joe Biden got Republicans to roll over in debt ceiling negotiations. I don't think somebody who's, according to you, asleep can get people to roll over or is strong in negotiations by their own admission. So do yourself a favor. Stop watching Fox. Stop looking at selective videos on TikTok and Twitter, and watch full speeches. Read. Pay attention to the news and listen to reliable journalists who go through vetting processes for everything they talk about. You listening to MAGA Patriot 123 on Twitter will not give you reliable information.
I don't even look at Twitter.
I don't even know where. You said one of your sources is word of mouth. You get your news from word of mouth.
We were having a decent conversation. All of a sudden, you're
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. You were just going on a hissy fit about you don't know who I am.
You don't.
So please
Stop labeling
relax.
people.
Spare me.
It's dividing
You just said
us.
you get your news from word of mouth.
God, people are right. You guys just hate people. Bye.
No, we don't. You can run. I'm going to finish my sentence anyway. We don't hate people like that. What we hate is misinformation. And when people are so comfortable sitting in their ignorance, that's very frustrating for people who are trying to advocate for a better future. My God, she's so comfortable in her ignorance. She said a news source for her is one, Fox News, already a red flag. But number two, word of mouth. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, oh my God, bro. Jeez Louise. Hummus, thanks for the $1. Hey, Harry, totally fair if not, but I'm from Ohio and have people who are affected by the Haitian immigrant hoax and have a lot of clarifying info, and I would love to come up and clear things. Yeah, if we have somebody else that comes up and talks about that, let's get you up here, man. Colleen, thanks for the $1. Don't read this out loud. I got you. I was interested. I wanted to know. So I'll look at that. Yo, Liv, thanks for the $5. You're great at talking, but would you mind showing me what else your mouth? Whoa. Yo, Liv, another banger. I appreciate you. Sydney, thanks for the $15. Sending a little more than usual as a thank you / apology for all the goofy pickup lines. Oh, please, come on. Don't you have to apologize? All in good fun, and it makes you uncomfy. Don't have. No. You're good, bro. Trust me. I appreciate you, Sydney. Zhao, thanks for the $5. I don't know if I don't think I can. I think there's just too many words in that, or TikTok unfriendly words for me to read that out, but I appreciate the message. Angie, thanks for the $1. Harry, what is your schedule for live streaming on here? By the way, the people have asked for pet breaks, so please show your kitties or I can show you my. Angie, so my live schedule on TikTok normally is from I normally start at 9:45/10 and then go until 1:30-ish, or excuse me, sorry, 12:30/1. So anyway, that's sort of what it is. Jar9, thanks for the $10. Word of mouth. I know someone who knows someone. Yeah, seriously. It's crazy. Jenna, thanks for the $25. No pick 'em. I'm bringing old on women. I appreciate that. I appreciate the message. Yeah, Emma. Emma, listen, Emma, I appreciate the $50. Please show Emma some love in the chat, because for $50, that is incredibly kind. I appreciate you. Give some W's for Emma in the chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Emma. But I cannot read your message out. It's an impossibility. It's impossibility. I cannot read that message out. Emma, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. You're very kind. Bella, thanks for the $10. Can I get an ad back on Snap? I also add people on Snap all the time. So if you want, link in bio, my Snapchat's there. And yes, Miranda, thanks for the 10 cents. I live in Tennessee, blank nowhere. So it's tough out here. Love you, King. Please move here. I've never been to Tennessee. I'd like to go though. Ali, thanks for the $1 daily dose of Mr. Flirting with you over Venmo. And I believe in your right to choose me. Very nice. Megan, thanks for the $20. Love you, Harry. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Megan. You're the best. You're the best. I hope you know that. I appreciate you. Julia, thanks for the $5. You're an amazing young man. Julia, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. You're incredibly kind. Daisy, $1. My word of mouth is you. Thank you, Daisy. I appreciate the $1. Logan, thanks for the $5. We need to see the cats. If one of them comes, sometimes they do. If one of them do, I will definitely show you the cats. Anyway, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up. And you can tell me why. You can tell me why. You can tell me why you're MAGA. Also, Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support the live. Appreciate you all. This guy's... I feel like, why do I... I'll bring up... I'll give Alexis an invite. AJ... I don't know if I haven't talked to AJ before. Why do I feel like this guy's a troll? This guy could be a troll. Alexis, hello?
Hello.
How old are you?
20.
You vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Really? Why?
I want to start off by saying a lot of the main thing for me is women's rights. And I know you're going to go ahead and argue against that one.
I'm not going to argue against women's rights, but I'm just I'm curious how Donald Trump supports women's rights.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you a question. Do you identify as a straight male?
Yeah, I'm a straight guy, yeah.
Okay. Are you comfortable with a girl you were dating to have another guy in their bathroom?
I wouldn't care, no.
Why is that?
Because I don't think that when we're... I don't think people should be thinking about who's next to them in the bathroom peeing as well. I don't go into a bathroom. I'm like, oh, I wonder who's in here. You using the bathroom just like I am. I don't think about that. And also there's no evidence to suggest that. I know what you're hinting at. You're hinting at transgender issues. There's no evidence to suggest that trans men or women commit crime in bathrooms at a high rate or anything that's a problem. This is just a makeshift issue.
There are plenty of stories about men and illegal immigrants claiming that they're women raping and harming women in their own bathrooms, men in women's sports.
There's also a bunch of stories of native-born Americans doing that. So I don't know why you're talking about immigrants in the context. But again, just to be clear, we're looking at data, right? Of course, there's individual instances of literally anything happening. There's so many different things that have happened from bad people doing bad things in certain instances. But in terms of widespread trends, there's no widespread data that suggests that transgender individuals are committing crime or doing anything like this. It's just not true. You're making up something to be mad at, right?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Calm down, for one.
No, I'm perfect. I'm just telling you that this is not a thing. This is not happening. There's not any widespread data to suggest that this is the case.
So men in women's sports and women's bathrooms doesn't seem wrong to you.
I also don't care about the sports, to be honest. If somebody wants to run track, just why the fuck would we let them run track? And also the studies we have right now.
That is crazy.
Can you be quiet for 5 seconds so I can finish my sentence? The studies we have right now suggest that before someone enters puberty, if they're given things like hormone therapy and puberty blockers.
Oh, why would you do that in kids?
Their muscle, because it's reversible. It's not surgery. It's reversible. So if you do that, their muscle, let's just say you're giving a trans woman, somebody who's trans woman, meaning going from man to woman, you give them puberty blockers, hormone therapy, their testosterone, their muscle mass, their bone size, all of that would be comparable to that of a biological woman. So it just depends on when you start the hormone therapy. And there is evidence to suggest that if it started later in therapy, that won't exactly line up. But it's still something that we're like looking into. So
Alexis, sorry, I just had to jump in here real quick. Did you just say it's perfectly okay for a biological male to run in women's track?
No, I
Yeah,
said
if
it's
that-
not okay.
No, I know.
No, I'm talking
me.
to Harry.
Oh,
If they've
okay.
gone through like the necessary requirements set by their state, then I have no problem with it. And they're like
Well,
states
just
have different
look up the
requirements.
100-meter dash final in the Olympics this year, men versus women. That is the example. That is why this can't be
Oh,
allowed.
so we have a man. I want to say so many mean things to you right now, but I'll be nice. That is, how do I say this nicely? The most unintelligent thing I've ever heard. If you didn't just hear me, I was referencing the fact that a lot of states have requirements for some person that's transitioned to fulfill before they can compete in sports. So if you want to compete in a sport, you have like some states you have to transition for X amount of years, or you have to go through X amount of rounds of hormone therapy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying?
I still don't think that reverses everything. Like, you're still biologically a male. You're
Well, the
still
data we
gonna
have
those
right now
biological
suggests that if it
abilities.
started early enough, it absolutely does. And if it started later at some points, there is evidence to suggest that it does as well.
Yeah, but here's the thing. A lot of the times, these people who we hear about, they are men dominating women's sports who have not fulfilled those requirements.
That's just not true. There's no
That
evidence.
There are people that are in women's boxing that are biological men hurting
who?
women.
Like who?
Excuse me?
Like who?
Go ahead and look it up right now. I don't know their names off the top of my head,
Yeah,
but
it
the
doesn't
stories,
exist. You know what's funny?
stories
It's
are
like
disturbing.
it's
Do you
funny
wanna go
because
ahead?
like
These are
are you referencing
bi-
Iman Khalif?
biological men knocking out women, hurting women in their sport.
That's not a
They have
thing.
their
This
own
is not
sport.
like sanctioned.
They have
This is
their
not-
own sport. Why can't they just go
Jeez
compete
Louise.
against their own gender?
This is not happening again. You're making something up to be mad about, right? So for example, there was a big, at least in the Olympics or any major boxing tournaments or any major sporting events, this is not happening. There was a big controversy recently with someone named Iman Khalif. She is a woman. She was born a woman. She's a biological woman. But Republicans thought that she didn't look like a woman, and her chromosomes didn't match that of a biological woman. She has a condition that she was born with, but she is still a biological woman. And Republicans were saying that, oh, she can't compete, which is dumb. Because then what is she meant to compete in? Right? It's not enough for a lot of Republicans. That's who you're referencing right now, Iman Khalif. That was a big controversy. But she was a biological woman. She was not a man beating up on women. She's a woman.
There's other stories, but I'll go ahead and say this one. So I personally swam in high school. There are biological men in our locker rooms, and you're going to say that's okay?
I think that we should just have
is
like
true.
stalls. I don't like the idea of like, I would prefer a changing room where everybody has a private place to change. Like, I don't think it should just be like an open changing environment.
But a lot of the times in a lot of women's sports, that's how it is. It's a communal space, especially when you're on the road. You don't have a giant locker room to go and change in. There's biological men competing in women's sports.
So this is just like, I'm using this word a lot because it's applicable here. It's very reductionist. You're just like putting it down to like, oh, it's biological men. You're not factoring any of the science that talks about hormone therapy or anything like that, or the actual transition process. I'm not even sure you're familiar with what the transition process looks like for somebody going through this. And also the idea that, like somebody's transitioning just so they compete in, women's sports is nonsense. It's just not happening. And so when it comes to like changing rooms, I'm perfectly happy with a conversation to be had there of like, well, either, you have like stalls where people can change, or like make sure that people are like, away from each other when they change. I have no problem with that. But when it comes to like bathrooms in schools, like I'm personally not somebody who thinks about somebody who's peeing next to me. And if somebody wants to run track and they've gone through the necessary process, I have no problem with that. And you can like cite individual examples of like, oh, what about this person? What about this person? What about this person? But at the end of the day, the science is just not on your side. I apologize. Actually, I don't apologize, but she
Wait,
said
what about-
we already did an age check, by the way. She said she's 20.
What about a sport like wrestling or boxing? Iman Khalif, like that. There's more to that situation, but like,
There's
what
not
do you
more in that
think if
situation.
a biological male who has gone through the whatever weird things you're referencing to compete in
Weird? What's wrong with you, man?
women's wrestling, like in high school, college, whatever. What do you think about that?
If they've gone through the necessary requirements as dictated by science, then I have no problem with it.
Well, they still, anyways. I don't know if she's gone, but I wanted to talk about something completely different. I don't know why we were at it at the same time.
You want to what?
Talk about something completely different. I don't know if she's still here. Like y'all can
Alexis,
finish.
how old are you again?
20.
Okay.
I
You have
was
anything
young.
else you wanted to say on that topic, Alexis, or no?
I wanted to say the one thing again about the biological men in sports. Go ahead and look up Riley Gaines. She's a swimmer from Kentucky.
Yeah, I know about her. She's like a right-wing activist now.
My point is, a biological man stole her title. Yes, went through the transition, whatever. It is still a biological man.
We can't hear you. Like my mic is muffled.
She's still a biological woman, and she's competing against a biological man who shouldn't even be in her sport. That athlete was a mediocre men's athlete and decided to
What'd you
switch
just say?
to women's. He was a mediocre men's athlete.
So Leah Thomas is who you're referencing. Leah
Yes.
Thomas was just a better swimmer than Riley Gaines. So then Riley Gaines had like a meltdown on like air in a very public way because she just wasn't that good at swimming, and tried to blame like transgender issues. In reality, like Leah Thomas lost a bunch of her races. Right, like Leah Thomas like is not even anywhere near the like top ranked swimmers in the country. They're not going to the Olympics. Right?
Do you not understand that
So,
a lot of it is making women uncomfortable?
What was that?
A lot of it is making women uncomfortable. They should be able to be themselves and not have to feel threatened.
Do you not
in
hear
their
yourself?
sport, in their
Why can't
place.
trans people be themselves and not have to feel threatened by freaks like you?
Freaks like me?
Oh yeah, freaks like you, yeah.
How exactly am I a freak?
Oh, because you're trying to push like completely fabricated narratives about trans people, whether it be bathrooms committing crimes or that biological men can't compete in sports. You have no idea what the transition process looks like. You have no idea what the science is behind a transition process. You have no idea how the hormone therapy works. When I just talked about hormone therapy before, you didn't know that it was reversible. So when you're up here, you have such strong. Be quiet. When you're up here and you have such strong positions about trans people, and then on one side you're saying, why should this group of people be scared and threatened? Why can't they just be who they want to be? Use that same logic with trans people, but you're not.
All right, the best compromise here would be like a gender neutral bathroom.
Sure,
I
if you
feel
want
like
gender
that-
neutral bathrooms, go
it's probably a
wild,
good
go wild.
compromise.
But all I want is for people like Alexis and just people generally to accept trans people into society. Love them like you'd love anybody else. Accept them like you'd accept anybody else. They are deserving of happiness and the pursuit of happiness, just like you, just like me, just like any American citizen. And this whole like, trying to demonize them at any opportunity, whether it be sports or bathrooms or changing room or that, yeah. You stop just coming up with shit to be mad about and just let them live.
I didn't say they couldn't live. I didn't say anything like that. My point is that as much as we're like, oh, we should accept them, we should not be forced to be somewhere we're not comfortable. And I understand that we shouldn't make them uncomfortable, but don't push them into a place where biological women feel harmed because we're not in our own space. Because it goes both ways. Just because we're the quote normal and should accept them doesn't mean that we're against them or harming them.
Well, no, I get that, but it's just like every opportunity you get, you come up with an argument to be against trans people. That's what the Republicans have done. I'm not saying you're a Republican. I'm just saying the Republican Party generally has moved the needle at every chance they get to find something that lands. So what they found that landed was sports. They're not even trying to push like the bathroom argument anymore because nobody like that's rational is thinking about who's peeing next to them in the stall next to them, right? Nobody cares. So now they're landing
People
on
that were
sports.
sexually abused at a young age were, because that's a place where you're supposed to go into and, do your business, feel comfortable. You should not have to worry about who is next to you.
Yeah, why? I don't think anybody does. Like, why would trans people being allowed to go to the bathroom that they're assigned to or that they've transitioned to make you feel threatened? I genuinely don't understand this.
Because if there was a biological man, before they were to walk into a woman's bathroom, they don't have to show proof that they identify as a woman, that they transitioned as a woman. Therefore, they could just say, oh, I identify as a woman, and go ahead and do anything to a young girl, a little girl that would have been in there.
Why would they have to be in a bath? Just out of curiosity, like, why would they have to be in a bathroom to do that?
They don't. I get it can happen anywhere, but it's a
So, like-
space they're not supposed to be where a lot of things can happen, and it's a common target place.
It's bathrooms are a common target place.
If you had a 5-year-old daughter, would you be comfortable with a, big, burly, grown man walking in behind her?
I would be perfectly happy with a. First of all, if I had a 5-year-old daughter, I'd have somebody escort her to the bathroom as well. But if I had a 5-year-old daughter and there was like somebody in the bathroom with her that's trans, I would not be worried about the safety of my 5-year-old daughter. This is what I'm talking about. You have like this. You have an already built-in bias against trans people. That if it's a biological woman that walks in after your 5-year-old daughter, you have no problem. You don't think that there's something that the biological women do, even though they have the exact same capacity to commit a crime. But if it's a trans person, you automatically think that something bad's going to happen. That's the problem. You have already built-in bias against trans people. There are plenty of biological women out there who commit heinous crimes.
I'm sure they do.
Your mic's muffled again.
I'm sure they do.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Somebody just sent me a Venmo thing that is a really good point. Where do you think that this person what bathroom should this person use?
Men's.
Men's? Yeah. It's a transgender man. It's my friend Cole. So, under your view, this gentleman, Cole Perez, good guy. Shout out Cole, love this guy. Under your view, under your legislation, would be forced to go into the women's bathroom. This guy right here. Do you want him in the women's bathroom?
Did he have the surgery? That's honestly my main question.
Why does the surgery matter? I also don't know. I don't ask people about their genitalia, quite frankly. It's just not something I do.
I don't understand what's so hard to understand. Whatever parts you have is what bathroom you should be in. I don't understand why that's so
What about
complicated.
intersex people?
What the hell even is intersex?
Somebody born with both sets of genitalia.
Yeah, most people that do that, they tend to identify with whatever they want to because they do have the option because they have both parts. A lot of people in that situation do happen to, side with one or more gender because they were born that way. They didn't randomly choose it.
So Cole Perez, the gentleman I just showed you, he should be in the women's bathroom?
If that's what he has, then yeah.
Wow, that's a crazy position to take. So if like fully transitioned people maybe are big burly men, that's so fucking insane. It's so fucking insane. So Cole Perez, a jacked guy, like lifts in the gym and all that stuff. You'd be perfectly happy with him following your 5-year-old daughter into the bathroom, but if it's another trans person, it's not, right?
Quite frankly, I'm uncomfortable with anybody that would look like a male going into the bathroom after my daughter.
But that's
And
what
I
you
can
want.
say
You
that
just said
either
Cole
way.
should be going to the bathroom.
I'm comfortable with it either way. If he looks like a man, I don't want him in the bathroom with my daughter. But if he has those parts, technically that's yes how it would be.
So again, just to be clear, you want this gentleman being in the bathroom, in a woman's bathroom.
It depends on the situation.
Well, then how do you legislate that?
That's my point. Nothing should be allowed like that. You go into the bathroom, what parts you have. Somebody that were to go walk into a bathroom knows what parts they have. They should know which one to go in.
Yeah, but how do you regulate that? Like, do you have like somebody that just checks your parts before you go to the bathroom or what?
It's the fact that it shouldn't be accepted that this is allowed to happen.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I'm still not understanding why. Like I get your whole worldview is so messed up. You're so anti-trans to the point where this guy, who you look at, you originally said he should go to the male's bathroom. You're so anti-trans to the point where you think that this guy, if he hasn't had the surgery yet, should be going into a woman's bathroom just to fit in your belief. But then again, you're like scared of trans people being in the bathroom with your daughter. It's like pick a side. Pick a side. Because oh my god. Anyway. This is crazy, man.
I don't know what exactly is so hard to understand about if you know what you have, you go in that bathroom. And people is always going to be, oh, there's exceptions. No, there's not.
Because then again, under your view, you'd have a bunch of people like this in your bathroom who you were just saying that shouldn't be the case.
If he what he has, you go into that bathroom.
I know you keep saying that over and over again, but your worldview would have a bunch of people like Cole, who's a man, in your bathroom.
What about somebody that?
Your mic again.
What about somebody that looked like a woman but had male parts? It was in there with a young girl. That's fine.
If a woman who has male parts, yeah, that's fine. Again, I don't think about bathrooms this much. Like if you walk into a public bathroom, like you're in an airport, for example, an airport, a restaurant, you just go do your business. You're not thinking, you're not like scoping it out. You're not saying, well, I wonder what you're doing in there. You just go do your thing. Whatever you got to do, you go do it. You wash your hands, soap, 15 seconds. You know the rules, everybody. And then you leave. I don't understand this obsession with like, oh, well, what if there's a trans person in there? So fucking what? Go do what you got to do and then leave. There's no evidence of widespread crime in bathrooms. There's no evidence of trans people committing widespread crime in bathrooms or pretending to be trans to target people or anything like that. It would be just theoretically, first of all, there's no data, but also practically, why would somebody just have to identify to be as trans to commit a crime? If they're going to commit a crime, why would they go through all those extra steps? Right? They would just commit the crime. So there's no data. It's not practical. It's not logical. I just don't get it. That's all.
I just don't understand what exactly. Maybe you don't think about it in the bathroom, but other people do. It makes other people uncomfortable. Just because that's what their life choice, it shouldn't be pushed to make other people uncomfortable.
I mean, I think that just trans people make you uncomfortable. That's what I think. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just trans people make you uncomfortable.
If I saw a trans person walking in Target, hey, that's fine. Probably wouldn't even know. But the problem comes down to there are so many sexual crimes and, people getting raped, and it's not okay. Because why would somebody's in that situation because they walked into the bathroom they shouldn't be in. And I'm not saying it always happens. I'm not saying it only happens in bathrooms, but why would you go somewhere that is, most places are male and female? Why would there be flip-flop?
So again, I want to stress that there's not evidence of this happening widespread, that there's not evidence of like widespread sexual crimes by trans people targeting people in bathrooms, right? It's just not a thing. It's not happening. There's no data to back that up. You're like making up a hypothetical scenario.
Trans people.
What was that?
I didn't specifically say it happened in bathrooms. I said it could happen anywhere. But that's a position that people are put in where they're uncomfortable because they shouldn't be in there in the first place.
Yeah, I think you're just, again, uncomfortable at the idea of trans people. I don't like... I just think that it's a trans person issue for you, not like anything else other than that.
So do you want to discuss another topic then?
No, I'm happy to, but anyway, my point is just like I think you're just anti-trans. Like I think you should just talk to people who are transgender, understand what they've gone through, understand who they are, understand.
I have.
And did you tell them what you're telling me now?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd they feel about that?
They understood my side because, again, the person that I talked to is my biological uncle who has transitioned to a woman, is now married to another man turned woman. And he also has a 8-year-old daughter, and he's still not comfortable with somebody that looks like a woman that would have male parts in the bathroom after his daughter. And
Your mic.
She is in that position.
Wait. Hold on. You just said your uncle transitioned into a woman, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then why are you calling her he? See, this is what I'm talking. You're just anti-trans. That's what I'm talking about. You just went he, she.
Oh, maybe because
that's what it is.
Maybe because it's hard to remember sometimes because,
It's not.
I grew up with him being an uncle. My bad.
I have plenty of people in my life who are either non-binary or have transitioned, and it's super easy to go by their pronouns. You just do it, right? You learn, and you're not even like trying. You're very, very purposefully, very intentionally misgendering your own relative who has transitioned. This is what I'm talking about. You're just anti-trans. You have to work on this own bias for yourself because you're making up data, you're making up scenarios to justify hate. And if you replace this with like any other group, like let's just say you replace who you're talking about with the person where the group of people we're talking about, trans people, with like any other group. Let's say it's people of color. Replace trans person with people of color. Would you feel comfortable with a person of color walking into your bathroom or being in the same bathroom as your daughter? That sounds horrific when you frame it like that, right? Hold on, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. That sounds objectively racist. That sounds disgusting. You'd be like, well, what the hell are you saying? But then if you replace that group of people that you're talking about with trans people, then, oh, it's no problem. Then I feel unsafe. It's like, this has always been done to people of color, or not people of color, just oppressed groups generally, to justify a hate against that group, justify an oppression against that group. People make up data, they make up fake scenarios to justify their hate. They do X, Y, and Z to justify going after that group of people. That's all. So just think about that. Think about what you're saying here. And think about it, if you were saying about any other group of people, it would be deemed disgusting. But since it's trans people, it's deemed okay. Come on.
If they're the same color and have the same, well, excuse me, I misspoke. I apologize. It doesn't matter what color they are if they have the same parts, because then everybody in that bathroom would be the same, regardless of their color.
I understand. First of all, it's race. It's race there. Yeah, but the point is just like fill out the group of people that you're talking about with another group of people that have been oppressed historically, and it sounds horrific. Because if you have to make up data or make up scenarios to justify going against a group or disliking a group in certain scenarios, then maybe your belief is just not justified. That's all.
Can I jump in?
Alexis, do you want him to jump in? It's up to you.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so I think she touched on like comfortability earlier, like a couple minutes ago. I think for me, what draws the line is like I think you've heard the phrase "tampon Tim." What's happening in Minnesota with Tim Walz putting basically tampons in the boys' bathroom. I think that draws the line of comfortability. I think also, like I've seen like these little kids transitioning, like 8, 9 years old, on like Twitter or social media with their parents like enthusing it. Their parents are like influencing them to become trans at like a young age, which I think that's just not natural. I think that's just weird. And like, trust me, no boy wants to see tampons in their bathroom if they're in a boy's
I also don't understand why the fuck you care about this. So I don't know if Law of the Wild's here because he's from Minnesota. He probably put this more eloquently than I could.
You're in a boy's bathroom.
Yeah. So
why is there tampons?
So in a lot of this is again Law of the Wild is an example. He's a public defender from Minnesota. I don't know if he's here. First of all, I don't understand why you're scared of like tampons. Like I don't know why you're so like fearful.
Nobody's
of that.
scared. It's just
you're
like,
scared
why?
of them. But a lot of schools in Minnesota and a lot of like venues in Minnesota that might be utilized by school children have like gender neutral changing rooms. So they only have one changing room. So like if the women's like volleyball team came there or if the men's soccer team came there, they'd all change in the same place, right? And knowing that like two different groups of people would change in the same area, it makes sense as to why tampons would be in that room because it's utilized by both men and women, right? So it's not just and also again, trans people exist in school, right?
Well, first off, I know someone that lives in Minnesota. Trust me, there are tampons in the boys' bathroom too, not just the gender neutral ones.
Yeah, because again, trans people exist, buddy.
Okay, yeah, but what?
Trans people exist. There are people who have transitioned and are now men who still have genitalia that they were assigned with at birth, that's traditionally associated with women. And they also still have menstrual cycles and things of that nature. They still need to use menstrual products.
Then they shouldn't be in that bad. Anyways, I don't want to debate. I want to debate about something else. But if Alexis is done, then I'm happy to get to that.
Alexis, are you done on this topic?
You can go ahead and talk.
Okay. What do you want to talk about? Trump HQ. Why are people saying you're 17? Are you 17 and lied?
No, I voted for Trump.
I don't understand why people are saying that.
I don't know. People are saying I had prom. If you look at my videos, those are posted from 2 years ago.
Okay.
I'm not a fucking junior in high school. Oh my.
All right, guys. If she says she's 20, there's not much, there's not much we can do about that.
I look fucking young.
Oh,
I
here
get
comes Law of
that.
the Wild. Here comes Law of the Wild. He can better eloquently put what I just said. But the point stands. Anyway, Law of the Wild. He was taking objection to, tampons being in boys' bathroom. That whole lie that Trump and JD Vance pushed in Minnesota.
Oh, lie though. I have a friend that lives in Minnesota. It's not a lie. How is that a lie?
It's the framing. It's the framing. So.
Yeah, I mean, so the bill was introduced by Representative Sandra Feist, who represents the North Metro of Minneapolis and St. Paul. It was a period poverty bill. Basically, it was to make sure that students had available access to menstrual products in school restrooms, even if they couldn't afford it. Now, in order to use these, you actually have to go get a token from the nurse's office, and they keep track of who has the tokens. And the machines will only take the tokens that come from the nurse's office. And when the discussion was coming up about, where these need to be put, initially they were discussing, they have to be available in all girls' bathrooms. But that posed some problems because there's unisex bathrooms. And also I'm a soccer coach for my daughter's team. And when we travel over to other schools, particularly out in like rural parts of the state, they use the boys' locker room in order to change. The home team uses the girls' locker room, and we use the boys' locker room to change. So it just made more sense to just say they had to be available in all bathrooms, and it's not an issue. It's not causing any problems. Nobody's getting emotionally scarred by it. It just makes sure that all the products are available for anybody who might need them, regardless of where they are.
I'm supposed to respond to this or her? I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's very uncomfortable. Nobody, most, you can agree this, most boys, most men, they don't want to see tampons in their bathroom.
Who the fuck cares? Are you scared of menstrual products?
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't know.
Have you ever had one?
I have.
If she asked you to stop by, the gas station and pick her up a box of tampons, would you be apprehensive about that?
Those are two completely different examples. I'm not saying menstrual products shouldn't exist. I'm saying they shouldn't be in boys' bathrooms because I don't think boys have
I'm asking
periods
you.
either.
Does that cause you to recoil the fact that you might have to go and buy tampons or pads for your girlfriend?
No. What? That is a completely different example.
But what's so damaging about seeing those products? And I've actually got a picture of the box. It is a metal box with a coin slot in it. It's not like there's pictures or visual instructions or anything like that you might be worried about.
All I'm saying is just a bit odd. It is a bit odd. And most moderates, most independents agree with me too. I mean, it is a bit odd. Especially when there's little children.
But we don't understand why is it odd?
Why is it odd? Because it's a boys' bathroom. That's why. It's a boys' bathroom.
How about a content creator on here? His name was Dylan, biological male, endorsing tampons on a Tampax commercial when he does not have a menstrual cycle. How does that make sense?
What? Somebody doing an advertisement for a company? What is this?
Yo, can we talk about something else? I don't want to talk. I came up here to debate about something else, and then she started talking about this.
Well, she's allowed to bring up that if she wants, but I just think that somebody doing an advertisement for a company, I'm sure there are plenty of other celebrities out there who have endorsed a product in a commercial and that they don't use, that you don't take objection with. This is what I'm talking about. You're just anti-trans, man. This is my entire point of this conversation.
If he doesn't have a menstrual cycle, why is he endorsing a product that's for women? That's taking away something that women have.
This is a company that hired this individual to do something for them.
So would you endorse a tampon commercial?
That's not the field of work I do. I probably would not do that commercial. I mostly do stuff in politics. Law, is that the box?
This is the
That's
big
it.
scary box that's weirding people out.
Oh, come
Nobody
on.
said it was scary. Nobody said it was
You're
scary. It's just
kidding.
like-
That's what you guys are so goddamn freaked out about? Come on.
Nobody's freaked out about it. We're just saying it's a bit weird that they're putting this in. Like, nobody is saying, I'm so scared. I'm going to run away. We're just
I
commenting.
don't know, it
It's a
sounds like you're
little
scared
odd.
about it. Sounds like you're scared about it. That's
Oh,
I mean,
just
look
like
at
you're
that.
scared of Bryce Hall because he's going to knock your ass out?
I met Bryce Hall. He's like a decent guy.
Yeah, but you're not willing to spar him.
Yeah, I'm not a boxer. I'm not aspiring to be a boxer. So
All right. Didn't you made a video saying you would beat him though, if I remember.
no, I said I made a video saying I'd be like interested in doing that because I did box for 4 years. I like
Yeah,
boxing. I like martial arts, but in terms of like, can you be quiet? In terms of like training for that and like going through a camp, it's like very intensive stuff. So I don't know why I would do that if I'm not trying to be a boxer.
Yeah, I guess,
But
but I
don't.
feel
But
like-
also don't pivot right now. Please don't pivot.
Yeah, can we talk about what I want to talk about?
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, like first off, I want to comment. Why do you call illegal immigrants undocumented immigrants?
They're undocumented.
Yeah, so okay, I feel like calling illegal immigrants undocumented immigrants is like calling a drug dealer an undocumented pharmacist. Like I feel like it's just
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire
oh
life.
how
They're immigrants who are undocumented. Nobody believes, that same scenario cannot be applied to like a drug dealer, like an undocumented. Like,
It is
what do you
because they're
say?
not authorized to do that or be here.
Yeah,
So they're
they
undocumented,
are.
right? Just to be,
Yeah,
you would
they're
agree that these
undocumented
folks do
pharmacists.
not have documentation to be in the United States. Yes.
Yeah, so they're illegal.
So, but are they undocumented?
Yeah, which makes them illegal.
Okay, great. So they're undocumented. So what's your objection to me calling them undocumented?
Yeah, what's your objection to calling a drug dealer an undocumented pharmacist?
Because it's just not applicable. Not a good
How?
analogy.
Wow.
It is because they're
Because
not legal
you would
to do
agree
that.
that. So just listen to the words we're using, right? So even if you say illegal immigrant and I'm saying undocumented immigrant, we would both agree that that person is an immigrant. We would not both agree that a drug dealer is a pharmacist.
Yeah, because that's what pharmacists do. They do deal drugs in a legal way.
But you,
in a legal way.
But when you're talking about it in illegal, you're labeling them. You're using it as a noun. They're illegals, and what they did is they committed a misdemeanor by crossing the border without inspection. You probably committed 5 misdemeanors today without even realizing it. We don't call you an illegal. It's dehumanizing.
Yeah, I think calling someone a drug dealer is dehumanizing.
oh, he got removed for community guidelines.
Yeah,
That's a
he
shame.
did.
I wanted him to keep that line of reasoning going. Anyway, Alexis, anything else you want to talk about? Or are you good?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Goodbye.
I don't even see myself on this. Oh, there I am. Okay, cool.
Jeez, man, that was. Yo, Mary, thanks for the $1 scary tampon fund. And yeah, they're actually terrified of it. It's crazy. Nora, thanks for the $10. If Trump HQ has a problem with tampons, what is he going to do when he has a wife and kids and there's pads and tampons in his own bathroom? He'd run out screaming. He'd be very scared. Very scared. It's ridiculous. Jaden, thanks for the $2. Hi, Harry. It's not even thanks. I can't read that out, Jaden. Anna, thanks for the $2. Anna, like Anna. Anna, can you share your routine to stay on top of policies, current events, and politics as a whole? How much time do you spend each day doing this? It depends on the day. So if it's like a slow news day, there's not as much to read. But if it's like a busy news day, I'll spend a lot more time reading. But in the absence of like just general news, if you're not reading the news, there's a lot of articles, studies out there that you can read on different topics. So if you're like one day interested in immigration, you can read about the asylum process, or just an example. You can dive deep into like an individual subject, which is kind of fun to do sometimes. Or read a book on politics. I'm currently reading War by Bob Woodward. It's really good. Emily, thanks for the
Great
$10.
book.
They say, yeah, did you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fabulous. Emily, thanks for the $10. They say it's for child safety, but 93% of the child essay is perpetrated by someone who's known to the child. We have an essay problem and a transphobia problem, not a problem with trans people. I'm tired. Exactly. It's a really good way to put it. Allie, thanks for the $5. We'll never understand the essay bathroom argument about trans people. No, the live just got flagged for hateful behaviors. God damn it. Over 55% of essay happen in the victim's home and only 10% in enclosed public spaces. Sorry, you're obsessed with who's using the bathroom next to you. It's agreed. Megan, thanks for the $5. When I was assaulted, it was by my boyfriend at the time in an empty theater. By her logic, I should push to have anyone that is potentially a man banned from movie theater. It's just, the logic is not consistent. It just doesn't make sense. Megan, thanks for the $1. Echo, thanks for the $1. Bring up how Trump walked in on changing rooms of women. That's also a good point. But they still voted for him anyway. Daniel, thanks for the $3. I wish Republicans cared as much about guns in schools as they do about bathrooms. It'd be nice. Emma, thanks for the $1. I appreciate you. What's stopping cis men from going into the bathroom anyways? They can just walk in if they want. Well, that's what I mean. It's just like completely empty. Carissa, thanks for the 50 cents. Megan, thanks for the $5. Under her view, a dude wouldn't even have to dress up as a woman to go to the bathroom. Yeah, as well that. Chandler, thanks for the $10. Can you ask her if it's any better if the trans people are in the men's room with little boys? Is there any difference? That's also a good point. That's also a really good point. Jake, thanks for the $1. And I did what you requested. Allison, thanks for the 50 cents. Krista, thanks for the $5. Ben, thanks for the $5. Melissa, thanks for the $5. Roxy, thanks for the $1. Sommer, thanks for the $1. Keela, thanks for the Clea, sorry for the $3. I appreciate you. Thank you for standing up for trans people and their rights, of course. And Bex, thanks for the $5. Janet, thanks for the $5. And Reese, one sec. Oh, I will do that. I got you, Reese, of course. And yeah, all right. If you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up. What'd you say? Sorry.
I've got a couple too, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, please.
Dev O, thank you for the $25. That's awesome. And I just missed the name. That was a $5 one from Blaine. Thank you guys. That's a one booking fee paid for an unhoused person that gets arrested. Thank you very much. And real quick, you guys, we have 5.5 thousand people here, and Harry isn't even at 1 million likes. That's shameful. I'm hurt for that. If you guys could all, even you headphone users, I know you guys are sitting there in bed listening on your headphones, grab your device. Everybody fill up the bar 2 times. Harry will be at 1 million in no time. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate that, Law. Always. Oh, where did Jake go? He was just here a second ago. Anyway, I appreciate that, my man.
Do you want me to drop down, Harry? Hang up?
No, you can stay if you want, or you can leave. It's up to you.
No worries, man.
Oh, wait, one sec. I'm going to run through these super quickly, but I'm going to read all your messages just because I want to make sure we get to this guy quickly. Daisy, thanks for the $1. Mela, thanks for the $4. This is on Cash App. Kendall, thanks for the $5. Katrina, thanks for the 1. Sebastian, thanks for the 1. Zavi, thanks for the 1. Kendall, thanks for the 2 again. I appreciate you. And another 1, I appreciate you. Francis, thanks for the 1. And Susie, thanks for the $50. Drop some W's for Susie in the chat. That is incredibly kind with the hand hearts. I appreciate you. Shout out Susie. Give her some W's in the chat. I really appreciate you. Shout out you. And at least 50, by the way. Can we get at least 50? At least at a minimum. And Matthew, thanks for the $5. Cameron, thanks for the $1. And Leah, thanks for the $5. And as I mentioned, I'm going to read all of your messages, I promise. People, gentlemen, I assume. Rogan, Arthur, let's start with you down here. Why'd you vote for Donald Trump, buddy?
G'day, Harry. You're a champion, mate. I'm an Australian.
No.
Okay?
Only people that voted for Donald Trump, man.
Can I
know,
speak to
I'm
you for a little
sorry.
bit? Can I just speak to you? You're a Singapore man yourself,
Actually, I'm
aren't
a
you?
native-born American citizen.
Were you born? You were born there, were you?
I was born in Singapore, but I was born to American parents, meaning I'm a native-born American citizen.
Okay, but we're in the same sort of thing, aren't we?
Are you a native-born American citizen?
No. But I've spent a bit of time in Cali.
Did you vote in the election?
I'm a Trump. I'm a mega man.
Did you vote in the election?
Yeah, I was just going to say, how are you feeling after all that? You actually.
But did you vote in the election?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
no, I didn't.
so that's the problem.
But can I just ask a couple of questions?
Sure, I'll let you be. Go ahead.
Thank you. I really enjoyed your. Don't get me wrong, you pissed me off a lot, but you did a great job campaigning for your side. You and Chris.
Thanks,
Chris is a real gentleman and stuff like that. I think Parker and Dean are real smug and condescending, and I don't think they actually converted. I think they converted. No, that's how they came across. You were just very, very. You were very strong in your opinion, and I think you did very well for your side. And I don't think they did.
Oh, what a shame! You got a call. Where's my other bracelet, man? It's like pissing me off. God damn, bro! I can't find it. Oh. All right, keep going.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, regards to World War III, you were making out that it was scaremongering, we're on the verge of it, mate. And we knew that Kamala was pushing for it, pushing for boots on the ground with Cheney's. I don't know. You're a young fella. Dick Cheney is an evil man, and obviously the daughter's a little mini me. She was gloating about the endorsement. That was the worst thing she could have done. And you see where we are at the moment, right? We're very close to, we're very, very close. There. Trust me. I'm a Serbian background, right? And so I know a bit about that particular region. Even though it's a little bit far from Serbia. It's like it's getting very, 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 very heated and very, very worrying.
I don't disagree that it's
We've got 2
heated,
months
but I don't
and-
think we're on the verge of World War III. The United States are the ones doing everything in our power to prevent that. Russia's doing everything in their power to like escalate, and they continue to show that. I mean, I was just talking earlier about how there was intelligence during the war that Russia wanted to use a tactical nuke in Ukraine, and it only took the United States like practically threatening them, sort of, to for them to not do that. So I think if you're like, it's Putin wants to escalate and he wants to see how far he can take this, and I don't think that means we slow down in supporting Ukraine. I don't think that's the goal.
Well, you know the ballistic missiles he has, Harry. They travel 3 kilometers every second. It's like 11 times the speed of sound. They've got capability that the West hasn't got. Now they haven't used it during the war. They've actually been the Ukrainian people and the Russian people are like pretty much the same people.
All right. You have a good one, man. All right, what's up, man? Are you MAGA?
No, but hear me out. I just wanted to tell you something real quick. Is there
What's up with people saying they're MAGA and not MAGA?
Nah, I just wanted to let you know something I saw that thought you might be interesting. Someone using a video of you saying that you're leaving the Democratic Party, which I know is a lie.
Yeah.
But it looks like you, so using your image without your consent is either illegal or shouldn't be done. So
that video is real, but it was a April Fool's video I posted in 2022. So it's like almost 3 years ago. But yeah, no, that was an April Fool's joke. It's on my page, so you can just go scroll and find it.
Cool
if you want
thing.
to.
Yeah, just letting you know, bro.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I appreciate you bringing my attention. Thanks, bud. Have a good one. All right, are you MAGA? Hello?
Yo, what's up?
How old are you, bro?
24.
24. Yeah, Devon, thanks for the $1. Katie, thanks for the $1. Aja, thanks for the $1. Oh, Asia. Hopefully it's Asia. We're gonna go with Asia. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the $1. And Jaden, again, thanks for the $2. And Brent, thanks for the $5. I appreciate you. Sydney, thank you for the $1. Can't. Another one I can't. Anyway, why are you MAGA? Why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
I think he'll ruin the country.
You think Trump is going to ruin the country?
Absolutely.
So you voted for him to ruin the country?
Yes.
Anarchist?
Yeah, are you an anarchist? Is that what you are?
No, I think it'll make the country better.
You think ruining the country will make the country better?
Yeah, to rebuild it.
Okay. I don't know, Law. You can talk to him. I don't even know the fuck. I'm gonna go get more water.
So what's the give me the underpants gnome here. So phase 1 is Trump gets elected, phase 2 is blank, and then phase 3 is the country's rebuilt. What happens in phase 2? Mick, you there? All right. Well, that was fun. Everybody, chat, you crushed it. You got to 1 million. Thank you very much. We are a little bit light on the shares now. So if you guys could all hit the little arrow button in the lower right, share it to all of the people who you will be avoiding at Thanksgiving dinner. Let's get them up in the live so that we can have some more great opposition. I would bring somebody up if I could, but other than that, I will just try to stall here until Harry gets back. I appreciate you guys. I did get one more from Daniel Torres. Gave me $1, and I appreciate that and the kind words. Tell you a story. What should I tell a story about? Let's see. It's always hard, like when somebody tells you to just tell a story off the top. Painkillers a show? I have not. Yeah, in any case, educate you on the law. I'll tell you guys what happened with Jack Smith today. Jack Smith he filed the initial paperwork to have the case for January 6th, the DC case, have that dismissed. Reason for that is the DOJ has a standing policy that you can't prosecute a sitting president, and Jack Smith is at the behest of the DOJ and is required to follow their policies. So those will be dropped. Judge Merchan up in New York, we are still waiting to see what they're planning on doing with the 34 felony convictions. 34 felony convictions right now. He's still a convicted felon. They've delayed the sentencing. That can go one of a couple of ways. One is Judge Merchan can elect to have Donald Trump sentenced. Now, this was never likely going to be a jail term. This was, most likely going to be some sort of a probationary term. Judge Merchan could just dismiss the case. That's what Donald Trump is seeking to do. He's got briefings that are due on December 2nd about why the case should be dismissed, and that's a potential avenue. Or they could, what Alvin Bragg is asking for in the state of New York, is to basically just pause the whole thing for sentencing up until after Trump leaves office in 2029, and have the sentencing at that point. So that's where we're at with the cases. Kathy, thank you for the $20. That is very, very nice of you. Just so you guys know how I use the donations, and if you wanted to 14th Amendment question. That's a good one. I will get to that shortly. How I use the donations is in my work as a public defender. I frequently work with unhoused people or people who I think are getting kind of a raw deal at the hands of the government. And your guys' donations help cover their booking fees. Because believe it or not, even after I get somebody, he just disappeared, Harry. So I'm just telling some stories. But even after you get arrested, even as an unhoused person, if I'm able to get them released on their own recognizance or even get the charges dropped, they still have to pay $25 for the pleasure of having been arrested. And so I like to help ease that burden off of people who can't afford it. So that's what we do. And then there was a question about the 14th Amendment. There are plans from some senators and members of the House to try to invoke Article 3 of the 14th Amendment when it comes time to certify the election. Basically, there's going to be an effort to try to declare that Donald Trump is ineligible for the office because he engaged in insurrection against the United States. Unfortunately, that would require a majority vote in both the House and the Senate, and the Republicans still control the House. But if they can peel off half a dozen Republicans on that effort, they might be able to deny Donald Trump certification. But before you take a big sigh of relief in that just means that J.D. Vance will become president. So it's not the all-around win you might hope for.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately the reality that we have to accept. He won. We're not MAGA. We don't deny results. Jalen, thanks for the $2 as well. You inspired me to start hosting my own debates. That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Genuinely, that's awesome. I bet you kill it. Anyway, if you're MAGA, let me know, and we'll bring you up, and you can tell us why you're MAGA, why you voted for Donald Trump.
And Hannah, thank you for the $5, Hannah. Harry, I just asked the lovely chat here to help boost the shares. We went from 300 to 1.2K like immediately.
God,
your chat, you have the best chat on TikTok for sure.
I'm telling you, I think the best chat, the best followers. That's my view. I think we have the best view for sure. I brought hello, Jake. How old are you, bro?
Harry, you need to
No.
stop.
Sorry, bud. Got cut off. Nice try, man. It was a good effort. Gina, let's give Gina an invite. Let's give Gina an invite. Bring her up here. See why she's MAGA.
I hate niggers.
Oh my god, dude. Go outside, bro. Get a life. Stop being a loser. Okay, let's bring up this guy. Oh my god, bro. Yeah. We've had a couple of those people tonight. We've had a couple.
Wait in the queue for an hour, and that's you shooting your shot.
That's them shooting their shot. That's I always find it funny, man. I always find it funny when people do that. They wait for like an entire hour to get up here, and then they use their time to do that. Also, wait, hold on. Let me just. I just want to say something. Kid behind a camera. I think you're watching. Man, I used to watch. I used to watch all those videos as a kid, bro. By the way, just a side note. I still do sometimes. Just side note. Anyway, if you're MAGA, let us know in the chat. We'll bring you up. You can tell me why you're MAGA. Embarrassing. I agree, Eva. I think that's just embarrassing. Clark.